Is this what you wanted?
Good morning. It's 7 a.m. on Tuesday, June 28th. Your government taco forecast today in Baton Rouge. Expect cloudy skies with a high of 91. Government taco, where our pickled onions always make a taco wet. Coming up on OTB, we talk to LSU baseball coach Jay Johnson at 8:30, and we talk Saints with Ross Jackson at 9:15. You can follow today's show on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at OTB_ESPN, or watch us on YouTube at the 104.5 ESPN channel. Hour number 1 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, starts now.
Let we go!
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah!
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, they said I gotta come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? Welcome in. It is Tuesday's OTB, and at least for 2 days, we will have the full OTB squad here. T-Bob, Jake, Mario, and Danny hanging out with you. I say at least because, as I said, it's vacation season. We talked about this yesterday, okay? We don't travel during football season. Generally, well, you get a little more in the spring. You try to not do because there's normally something going on. Like there's like Pelicans playoffs, right? College baseball going on. Like this month, the next portion of the calendar is vacation season. And so imagine my shock and utter dismay when Daniel starts talking about a trip that he's going to be going on soon. And, you know, we start our genial, good-natured ribbing like we do. And I said, whoa, boys, look. Let's just all agree to present a united front, and we're not going to vacation shame anybody because we don't work to live, right? We live, or excuse me, we don't live to work.
Yeah.
We work to live. And as I'm in the middle of trying to preemptively defend Danny against attacks from his coworkers, who blows it all up? Danny himself, who immediately starts talking about, well, I don't take as much vacation as you, doing the very thing that I was trying to protect him against. A2, Dan A, pathetic, Daniel. Not a foxhole move, okay? Not a foxhole move, and I'm very upset with you, and I don't know why I went out of my way to defend you, only for them to literally turn around and stab me in the back. Like the visual of this, the mob was coming after you, and I stepped in front of you gallantly. And I said, stand down. This is my boy. And as I said that, I felt a sharp pain in my lower back, only to reach back there. My hand comes up covered in blood, and you're sitting there smiling at me with your pathetic half-grown beard. Yeah, that's what it's like now, Danny.
Wow, let me see the beard. Okay.
Yeah, and that's on top of, on the way into work, I was giving him a pep talk about beard growth and how the first time you try to grow beard, you're going to go through an awkward phase, but you got to push through it and you got to stay confident. Eventually, the beard's going to come through and it's going to look great. And despite all of this, Danny, why did you decide to stab me in the back as I was actively trying to defend you?
It didn't feel like you were trying to defend me. It felt like you were trying to gather me in. Like he's also taking as much vacation time as me, so back off. It didn't feel like you were trying to defend me. That's the only reason why.
I mean, can we not be efficient in what we're looking to accomplish? Like, can I not do both? Can I not defend my friend as well as myself? Unbelievable.
Well, let me tell real quick. Let me tell the listeners
threw me
like
off.
exactly, because we had questions on Thursday and Friday about how many vacation days that T-Bob gets. Here's the deal. At Guarantee, it rolls over.
Yeah.
So I've been here for 4 years, going on 5T.
I'm coming up
on the second time. What,
I think
6
I'm on my
years?
6th year. Whoa. Okay.
So there was a lot of
Too real.
There's a lot
Back
of
it up.
time that T-Bob didn't take vacation. So
yeah,
this year
I got
he's
days on top of days. I got it banked.
You still do.
Yeah. And so do you.
I know. So a lot of people were asking the question, wait a minute, it's only June and he's gone on A, B, C, and D, and E, and F.
Oh, my God.
So how is that possible?
So this is what takes place when I'm out. This is what takes place.
For about 20 minutes it did. Yeah.
I mean, we did nothing. I can't.
No,
Again,
we were
like,
just answering
like
the
Caesar,
questions.
I feel like
We were
Caesar
answering
in
the
the
questions.
rostrum on the Ides of March as my best friends, A2, Brute. I'm sitting here. I think we're boys. They're like, T-Bob, do you need a like security detail or anything? I'm like, no, dude, these are my homies. We straight, okay? I don't need to go armed.
I didn't say we're talking
I
bad
don't need
about
no
you.
security detail. And well, lo and behold, maybe I did need to put my guard up a little bit more. As
You're smarter than. I mean, look, when I miss days, I'm still working. I'm the one that's not very smart in this whole equation.
but we are also not using those vacation days either. To be fair. Yeah, exactly. That's what
Actually,
I'm
I
saying.
think yesterday I did, but normally no.
Yeah. So
I
okay,
do not.
look, this is all spun wildly out of control. I do not appreciate y'all and this narrative. And let's be painfully clear. One of the keys in next contract negotiations will be bumping up vacation from 2 weeks to 3 weeks. Okay, so it's only going to get worse. Okay, I am not here to vacation shame again. I do not live to work. I work to live. And if you are someone who vacation shames your brothers and sisters in arms, you're a bad person. Let's just be painfully clear about that. You are doing the man's work against the common man, okay? What would Devin Snow say if he was here, Benny? You think he'd be happy with you? You think Hold the Mayo would approve of how you're acting? You know, carrying the water for corporate?
All I know
What are
is
you gonna do next? So you're gonna yell about how like billionaires shouldn't be taxed and we should be taxed more? Like, what do you do? You sicken me, Danny. Sicken me.
I just felt like you were trying to include me in your.
Maybe I was. Okay,
I'm taking off
That's the
one
point,
day.
though.
I'm taking off one day.
You're
That's
taking
it.
off 2. What are you talking about?
One.
Didn't you just
I
go
took
to
off
Miami?
one day.
Yeah, you're taking off 2 this weekend. But you know what?
And this weekend, yeah. But
I think you
so
should
far,
take
I'm taking off one.
I think you should take off 2 weeks.
Where are you going?
It's just a family trip. It's not special.
What? That man just said it's a family trip, so it's
Probably
Your priorities are awful. So when you go to Miami to party with the homies and try to sleep with loose women, that's special. But when you go with the family that you love, that birthed you into this world, your siblings that you don't even know the age of, that's not special?
I know their graduation dates. That's what matters.
Look, we call Mario sociopath. Is Danny the real sociopath?
or both. I mean,
Lacking
let's not let Mario out
any
of
real
this.
familial love and connections? Filling that empty void with just a revolving door of nameless and faceless Instagram thoughts? Unbelievable. Mario, what do you think about all this?
Danny might get mad at me for saying this, but he's
wow.
like borderline ageist. Like he's terrified to hang out with anybody over 40 years old.
Oh, wow.
Just made it.
It's not true.
So what happens, Danny? Do you when me and Jake get out of here, you just talk about how disgustingly old we are?
No,
And
actually,
how
I love older
wrinkly
women.
we
So.
are. Cougar Hunter.
Kind of need to watch how you're talking to Step Danny.
That
Christmas gift's going way
I don't gotta
down.
watch anything. I don't gotta watch anything. Step Danny can catch these hands if that Christmas gift goes down. Okay. I better get that new 4090 video card or whatever the new video card series is coming out. Okay. They're supposed to be like twice as fast as the 3090s or some crap like that, which is kind of blowing my mind to begin with.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's just some new graphics card my buddy was telling me about the other day. It just seems like technology's rocketing ahead far faster than any of us can imagine. Imagine that. All right. This is not how I intended to start today's show, but Danny drew first blood. And like Rambo, I'm not going to let that just pass. Now, welcome in to Off the Bench. I hope you're having a wonderful Tuesday, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend. That's right. I'll say it every single guest and every single segment today. And if you're LSU baseball fan, there's a chance that you are having a pretty wonderful day, as for a few days now, there has been a consistent stream of very positive LSU baseball news. We'll actually talk to Jay Johnson about this coming up at 8:30 today. Very excited. He can't talk about players specifically, but he can talk about Wes Johnson. And we'll kind of just discuss in generalities what he's doing on the transfer portal front, as it looks like about 11 o'clock last night, Jake. I was watching American Splendor, and a tweet came across my phone where yet another Vandy infielder joining the LSU Tigers. This time it was Carter Young. This is he's been at Vandy for 3 years. He's got a very interesting career trajectory, Jake, in which as a true freshman, he actually hit over 300, played very well. As a sophomore, he was the starting shortstop. And the bat kind of started to fall off, but he still had power. I think he hit like 250, but he had 16 home runs, which actually led the team. And then somewhere along the line, the yips just kind of continued to devolve. And this last year, he started way less games, kind of playing spot duty. I think he hit like 207 or something along those lines. Did he get hurt? You're looking at
Shoulder surgery.
Okay,
yeah.
so he had shoulder surgery.
Yeah, and that was something that a lot of people pointed to, maybe to why he has struggled and why the numbers have diminished a little bit. But still, I mean, it's there, right?
But
I
it's
mean,
also pre-injury, like even from freshman to sophomore. The point is, the fielding, let's be painfully clear. Where does LSU need help defensively, right? His defense remains elite. He's been a great defender the entire time he was at Vanderbilt. But the average has consistently gone down. What I like about this is that, like, what is Jay Johnson known for? He's the development god. He is supposed to fix people at the plate. So if you have someone who's an elite defender who has proven that he can hit 16 home runs in an SEC season and has proven that he can hit 300 as a freshman, like, there should be something there for Jay Johnson to mold and work with. And he's a guy that's going to be supremely motivated, as he had high draft stock. It took a hit after this last year, and he's looking to juice himself back up.
Yeah, and when you do it as a freshman, obviously you know the talent's there, that you know that he can handle all of those things, because freshmen just don't typically do that. But like you said, for whatever reason, whatever it was mechanically or mentally, whatever that might be, like, it obviously diminished his game. And he has battled through some different shoulder injuries, so it's not just one. He has had multiple, but you got to get him healthy, because whatever the reason for the decline is still there. Now, you can be excited about kind of molding him, and that's what you do. I mean, you are someone who has really been, a hitting coach and had that in your background before. And so this is more of a, hey, we've seen what he can do. We know how talented he can be. But his 84 strikeouts over 238 at-bats, that led D1. So, like, you got some work to do. Like, you've got to find
he led
you've
D1
got to
in strikeout ratio.
You've got to unlock that, right? You've got to be the person that goes back. You watch the tape and you're like, okay, freshman year you were doing this with your hands, you were doing this with your toe tap, whatever the mechanics are, because obviously we've all been there. I mean, every sport has it. You get the yips.
It's the worst.
If you're hurt,
It's
you
the
certainly
absolute
can get them.
It's the absolute worst. And
When I tore my plantar, it was like I was running. It was like I was running like this, like I looked like a penguin out there running. But I created bad habits, and then other body parts started to hurt because you try to favor the foot that's hurt or whatever. So you fall into all of that. So, like, when you get here, it's like, all right, hey, clean slate. We're going to go into the cage.
Yeah.
We're going to work this thing out. We've got a full off season.
Well, and instead of, like, you going back and watching the freshman film yourself and trying to figure it out, I have to imagine one of the core parts of Jay Johnson's pitch was, hey, I've watched your film. Here are my ideas. If you come with me, we will unlock this thing, right? The development god. It's what he's known for. And it looks like in Carter Young, he has a bit of a fascinating piece of marble to work with, right? One that you can tell has a lot of potential, has proven to be somewhat great in the past, but some cracks have started to show. Can you fix those cracks? I think Jay Johnson probably can. Dick Condon was telling me that he was looking at one of the 17 NCAA baseball polls, and that LSU was ranked number 2 in a little way too early 2023 poll. So LSU has a ton of momentum. Remember, Ben McDonald came on here yesterday and told you basically that the additions that LSU made over the weekend are making huge waves through not just college baseball, but the MLB as well. And we'll talk about that next, as we opened the show with Wes Johnson hire yesterday. I think we left out some details, and we got some more details as well yesterday that bear mentioning. So we'll kind of revisit that coming up next. And I do want to do some Jaden Rashada work as well, as what was being reported yesterday and what we discussed looks a lot more muddy today. So we're going to see. Keep it locked right here. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the like button, youtube.com/1045ESPN, and we'll be back more OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Go to Dinosaur Glass and Body, dinosaurglassandbody.com, dgbauto.com. I always tell you about how wonderful Dinosaur Glass and Body is in terms of a place to take your vehicle, but right now as well, or it's always a great place to work, but right now they are hiring. They're looking to hire some mechanics, and look, they offer great pay, benefits, and even a signing bonus, depending on your qualifications. So if you want to potentially get that signing bonus, call DGB Auto today.
Also hiring an experienced service writer. If you have experience in sales, management, and customer service in the automotive repair industry, they want to talk to you. Contact Kenny at 225-473-6495. Again, Kenny, 225-473-6495. Now, also you can go to DGB Auto, and DGBauto.com is the website, your one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs. We tell you all the time, they can do it all, small, big, in between, everything, DGBauto.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
The best things in summer are unofficial. Coors Light, the official beer of everything unofficial.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. for a Tuesday edition of Early Line as Jeremy Hill fills in for a vacationing Musso once again, and we go out to Las Vegas to talk to Rafael Esparza of MyBookie.ag. Join us 2 to 3 p.m. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Just got back today. Them wild-eyed boys that had been away haven't changed, had much to say. But man, I still think them cats are crazy. They were asking if you were around, how you was, where you could be found. Told them you were living downtown, driving all the old men crazy. The boys are back in town, boys are back.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob, the 2022 LAB Prestige Award winner for Best Sports Radio Show, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
It's like a little kid lunch sandwich. Bought some fresh white bread.
Okay.
Grocery store yesterday. Just a little turkey. Deli, you got to get the deli sliced turkey. Okay,
The
fresh
fundamentals.
sliced.
You're a fundamentalist.
I'm not going with exactly, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not going with like prepackaged, shipped over from wherever turkey. A little fresh slice.
It's like gray when you open it up.
Yeah. No. And then a little fresh white American cheese. A little mayo and you're
We
good
get
to
it. You're
go.
a white American. My God.
Also, I've been trying to develop my watermelon
here.
buying techniques. I looked up a watermelon chart, and I learned that a lot of the preconceived notions about what I had when I was buying a watermelon were off. Like, if you see a giant orange spot in a watermelon, do you tend to avoid that watermelon? Well, guess what? You're avoiding super sweet watermelons. Danny, look up watermelon buying guide, and we can get the visual up there, and we can circle back around to this in a little bit. Welcome back to OTB. T-Bob, Jake, Danny, and Mario hanging out with you today. Shane Bowler in the chat says, it's an atrocity that Scott Woodward didn't hire Mike Bianco. Jay Johnson can't carry his jockstrap, much less wear it. Bianco's rubbing his ring. He was on a mission when Mr. Great AD Scott Woodward hired a no-name West Coast guy. Mission accomplished. Good for you, Coach Bianco.
A no-name.
I would say this very simply. If Mike Bianco was the coach of LSU, do they win the national championship? No. There's no. You just don't. You just didn't have. You did not have the dogs to win the Natty this year. And so you have to ask yourself, okay, is this team better if Mike Bianco's the head coach? And while that is an impossible hypothetical to answer, in my opinion, no, they are not. As I said, I do feel as if Jay Johnson squeezed blood from stones with this LSU team. How do you have the conference's fourth best ERA when you don't have a weekend starter, really? And so yeah, I just think that's a ridiculous take. To say that Bianco, because he won the national championship with a significantly better team. Now, he made great adjustments. As we said yesterday, switching guys from the pen to the starting mound, trusting a freshman lefty, and it worked out. They got it together. They win the Natty. But acting like him winning the national championship at Ole Miss in a team that was preseason number 1, so already thought to be national championship worthy, it makes LSU and Jay Johnson a bad hire. I think that's kind of the height of flawed logic there, Shane. So anything to add there, Jake, before we talk a little Wes Johnson?
No, I mean, I'm with you. Like, you look at who they had, and again, I agree with you. Mike Bianco did a nice job of really, when this roster was down and out, finding the pieces, moving the pieces to be able to get them into the postseason. And then obviously what he did in the postseason, they were dominant. I mean, complete dominance. I mean, only losing one game in the postseason. But yeah, I mean, when you look at the rosters, look at what was taken over for Jay Johnson. And Jay Johnson is by no means a no-name. Trust me, in the baseball world.
Yeah, that's
talking with the baseball people that we know, he is not. He went to Omaha multiple times, right? So this is somebody that has a big name in college baseball.
He made a final, right? At Arizona as well, didn't they?
Yeah, I believe they did. No.
Yeah. Maybe check me on that.
Yeah,
Mario.
hey, let's fact check us on that. But I was actually, and I was talking with Blake Money on Saturday, and he was just talking about how he's involved in like everything. Like, he wants to be involved in everything, and not micromanaging, but he wants to be a part of in recruiting, and a hitter's mechanics. If he needs help, like Jay's there. He said Jay's always there. He's always in the building, always accessible as well. So no. Mike Bianco's great at Ole Miss. Jay Johnson's great at LSU. Allow it to play out. Mike Bianco was at Ole Miss for 20 years before you win a national title. So like, those things just don't come overnight. I think LSU's in good hands.
Yeah, they made the championship in 2016.
Okay.
Lost to Coastal Carolina.
So did LSU that year.
Yeah, no disrespect. Chanticleer's a hell of a team. Who would have guessed, though, that here, so that was 2016, who would have guessed that 6 years later, Coastal Carolina's football program would actually be the premier Chanticleer team, right? As Jamie Chadwell is, where's he going to go? Where is there any... I mean, I guess whatever. It depends on what jobs open up.
He will eventually.
Like, where are his roots from? Like who attracts Jamie Chadwell?
He will eventually. I'll look it up while we're talking about it, about where his roots are. But a lot of people thought because both Virginia jobs were open, Tech and Virginia, that he might take one of those, obviously kind of being right there in the region. But there were so many jobs that were available, and not just the blue bloods that were available, but when you start talking about, the jobs like a Virginia Tech. By the way, he played at East Tennessee State, yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's from Tennessee. So, I mean, I don't think he's going to leave Coastal to go to East Tennessee State.
No, so he can go anywhere.
Yeah.
Well, whatever. We don't need to go too deep on Chadwell. I'm going to be interested to see where his eventual career goes, as it's really fun what he's built over there.
Real quick, last thing on their football program, like it's pretty new.
Yes.
I played with Mike Tolbert, and Mike was like the first class of football players they had there.
Oh,
so
wow.
like 2005, maybe 2004, 2005 is when they started their football program.
Wow, I guess Mike Tolbert does. I mean, yeah, that's crazy. All right, so let's talk more LSU baseball here, as Wes Johnson hired from the Minnesota Twins over the weekend. Ben McDonald told you what a big deal that was yesterday. As we were discussing, it's actually one of the main stories on ESPN right now. If you go to ESPN.com, on the main headline section is a story about the Twins' reaction to Johnson leaving. As if you don't know this, like me, because you don't watch baseball like you used to, the Minnesota Twins are in first place right now. They have a very good pitching staff. And Wes Johnson is beloved in that building, right? And we talk about it all the time. When you hire someone, you want to know a couple of things. First off, was there a market for them? And it's tougher to answer that question in this instance because they're in the middle of the season, right? And, like, this is not job hiring season. So then you're like, okay, well, what do the former employers think about him? And when you have pitchers out there with quotes talking about how they've gone through every emotion trying to process this because they love him so much, right? That, like, they were angry, they're happy for him because it's a huge raise. Like, it's all these the swirling, conflicting emotions when someone you love has to move on, but you're going to miss them because they're so good at working with you. Or the organization. It seems like everybody in the Twins thinks that Wes Johnson is a top-tier coach. They're very upset, and that they're very upset to lose him. And I think that's a great sign for LSU.
All right, so I was looking back because the Twins have kind of what they've done with their rotation. They've got some guys that were former All-Stars or former, like, top prospects that had kind of fallen out of favor. Oh. And you look at Dylan Bundy, and he was a top prospect, and initially I believe he was with the Orioles. Last year with the Angels, his ERA was over 6. This year with Minnesota, it's 4.8.
Okay.
All right, so big improvement. Sonny Gray, right? Another guy who's been really good in the majors, but also a top prospect. With Cincinnati, it was over 4. This year, it's 2.17 with Minnesota.
Damn.
You look at Chris Archer. I think a lot of people will remember Chris Archer. I mean, he's been an all-star in Tampa Bay. His ERA in Pittsburgh was 5.19, and then Tampa Bay 4.66 the last 2 years. This year, it's 3.14.
Damn.
With the Minnesota Twins. And so what he's done, he's taken these guys who had the talent, either former All-Stars or former top prospects, and he has gotten the most out of them. He has really revitalized their career. I mean, certainly with Archer and Gray. And Bundy, like, you still want to get it down from 4.80, but I mean, it was over 6.
Yeah.
It was over 6 with the Angels.
Well,
a year ago.
An over every one of those guys he's mentioned had an overrun, like improved by over a run. So sure, 4.8 is high, but in the context of Bundy, it's significantly better.
So he's done a really nice job. So what he's done. I mean, the guys obviously have talent. That's why they were all-stars or top prospects, big time first round picks. And he's gotten the most out of them. And that's with some of his guys. Chris Paddock is injured this year. They've got 2 other starters that are on the 60-day IL. So he's had to get these guys that he probably wasn't counting on.
Yeah.
All right. You bring them in because they are talented. They've done it before. Joe Ryan's another guy. We hadn't even talked about what he's done with his career so far this year. So, I mean, the proof is there. I mean, he has taken big league guys and got them to get back to being on track to being the guys we've seen them be or thought they could be in the majors.
Yeah. So we also got some contract details on Wes Johnson. My man's going to be making $380K per year. Which I'm hearing some people have said triple. I can't imagine that's triple. But I mean, how much do MLB pitching coaches make?
If that's triple.
Yeah, that would seem a little crazy. But it is a significant raise, right? You do not leave an MLB team in first place in the division in the middle of the season unless this is like the LIV tournament. You got to slap the golden handcuffs on them. So $380K a year, you got to throw in some nice college perks because why not, right? That's an $800 per month vehicle allowance. Finally get that Tesla of your dreams. A relocation bonus of $25K. And for reference here, Jason Kelly was making $300K a year. So it's not you may say, wow, that's a lot to pay for a pitching coach, but it's not that much more than you already were committed to, so it doesn't really affect the budget that you were already operating under. And look, man, if you want talent, you got to pay him. And one thing that Scott Woodward has been fantastic with is he is going to empower his hires financially. Like he is going to take the people that he hires to run the programs. He is attempting to take any excuse out of the equation. If you're losing, Woodward wants you to know, well, it's not because we did not give you the resources to succeed. And they continue to, again, slap golden handcuffs on very talented coaches, and we will see if it pays dividends.
Some quick research there on the stadium. A bench coach on an MLB team makes around $150,000 to $250,000 a year. A bench coach's salary is similar to what a hitting and pitching coach and bullpen coach make per season. A first base and third base coach make a little less than the bench coach, but typically fall in the $100,000 range per season.
Jeez, dude.
So you're definitely making more.
Baseball definitely making more. That kind of shocks me. Like, baseball's kind of oddly cheap in these situations. I mean, you have some of those exorbitant player contracts of any sport ever, and the third base coach getting $100K.
I mean, you got Power 5 position coaches in college football making like $400.
Yeah. Baseball coaches, you need some sort of union or something. I don't know. That's wild. But yeah. So I mean, hello, who wouldn't take the deal then? Yeah. You want to make way more money? You want to work way less? I'm not saying that you're not going to be like grinding and in there and everything. You didn't play no 162 games. Like, yeah, okay. I go back to college as well. So, Wes Johnson, look, I think it's the bottom line is I think it's a very good hire for a couple of reasons. What all the people in the baseball circles are saying. And quite simply the fact that the Minnesota Twins have had so much success and seem so sad to watch him go, right? This is not like good riddance. This is we get it, but it hurts because we love you. And I think that's a sign that this is maybe the right hire to make here. Also, Ben told us yesterday, Jake, that Johnson almost took the plunge last year and decided to stay. And so I don't know, maybe they offered a little more or something this time around. But they finally got him back to the college ranks where, you know, his roots lie as well. That's the other part about this is that he came up in the college game. He knows this game even better than the MLB. And what McDonald told us yesterday is that early on, maybe he was overthrowing arms, had some injury issues. You don't operate in the modern MLB if that's still what you're doing, right? So maybe even if he was rough earlier in college, he's been refined by the most advanced MLB pitching techniques and kind of theory, and now he's going to bring that all back to Baton Rouge, and I'm excited to see what that looks like.
Yeah, I'm completely with you, and it is, you know, the timing of it obviously is probably weird for the Twins and where they're at, and losing a coach that everybody seemed to really, really enjoy. But obviously Jay Johnson knows, like, he's been on the portal trail with no assistants. I mean, his assistants mainly are now head coaches, and so he had to bring somebody in as well. It's impressive what Jay's been able to do, kind of obviously not by himself, but without, you know, some of his top assistants.
Okay, well, this is weird, and this kind of debases everything that we just said. This is a tweet from Brody Miller. Shout out to Coach Rose, Travis Rose 19 on Twitter for pointing to us. Sources told Dan Hayes MLB that Wes Johnson was making $400K with the Twins.
Within this season?
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's here's how the tweet reads. Right. Term sheet for new LSU pitching coach Wes Johnson. It's a 3-year deal, paying him $380K per year plus postseason incentives. Sources told Dan Hayes, MLB, he was making about $400K with the Twins.
The highest I saw was $350.
Okay.
I think even Champion said that as well inside the chat.
Okay, I'll just put this out there just so we're covering our bases here. Maybe we're off base with how much of a raise it was. Maybe it wasn't a raise at all. Well, it's a perfect segue to talk about Jaden Rashada next, because sometimes these stories, when it involves money and contracts that are technically private, it can all get very wonky and sideways in terms of what's real or what's not. So keep it locked right here on OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to centralplumbing.org, 925-8552, 925-8552, centralplumbing.org for all of your plumbing needs. Go to the place that's been doing it for over 50 years, y'all. Plumbing's weird, man. It's hard, right? You try to fix it yourself, maybe make it worse. Don't, okay? Don't. Just make it easy on yourself. Call Central Plumbing. Take advantage of flat rate pricing. Everybody's licensed, bond insured, because of course they are. And then great warranty work coverage after the work is done. Go to centralplumbing.org today.
225-925-8552. That is the 24/7 emergency service number. T-Bob's back in town, but that's okay. They still have the full fleet available. They're ready for any problem that you might have. That's not just residential, commercial as well. So if you own a business and you've got, backup, whatever it might be, they can come out, they can fix it no matter how big the building is as well. Go to centralplumbing.org to find all the information today. 225-925-8552.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a life.
Moscona inviting you to join us for Tuesday's AFR, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Wes Johnson called leaving the Twins the toughest thing he's ever done. But what does it mean for LSU's pitchers? We'll talk about it Tuesday, 3 to 6. Join us, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, Jake. So the even though contracts are public at LSU, It looks like this story goes a bit deeper than originally realized, and something that we'll probably only fully find out over time here. Dan Hayes, MLB, covers the Twins for The Athletic. And he says, Wes Johnson's base salary at LSU is $380K, as reported by Brody Miller. Multiple industry sources say total compensatory package potentially in the neighborhood of $750K. He made $400 with the Minnesota Twins this season. When asked about the package, John said, quote, I cannot comment on that. So I'm going to take this as confirmation that he did make $400 with the Twins. Absolutely, right? Which, again, would be on the higher side of being paid, which shows that the Twins really valued him. Mm-hmm. And if the total compensatory package is around $750K, well, that's almost double, so that makes sense. Anybody would leave for almost double. But why else that is interesting to me, Jake, is because this is similar to what Brian Kelly, or what Scott Woodward did with Brian Kelly, right? Where all the headlines came out initially, and what was it like? Oh, it's only like $9 million a year. Mm-hmm. And then you read the fine print, and you see that he has bonuses that are essentially guaranteed each year that push it up to $10 million a year. Now, I don't know why these other figures in Wes Johnson's contract wouldn't be being reported as of yet, given that these contracts are public. I don't know how they're kind of hiding this from the public eye, but hearing that it's potentially worth $750 and that he's making $400, now that piece of the puzzle starts to make a bit more sense, and it reinforces the main point that we made, which is that Scott Woodward is empowering his hires financially and will not let lack of resources be an excuse for things to go awry. So some interesting numbers there. Good reporting by Dan Hayes, MLB. Also, here's a quote from, and then we'll move on to Jaden Rashada. Here's a quote from Sonny Gray, who's a Twins pitcher we talked about on Wes Johnson leaving. Quote, it's someone who I've become really close with. If you know me at all, letting people in and getting in relationships in that respect, I put my guard up a lot. Wes is someone who was in. I was mad at him a lot today. I was happy for him a lot today. I used every emotion and everything that was kind of going through and kind of used it to pour into the game. He had an excellent game last night. They won 11-1. But overall, I'm happy for him. This is what he wants, and this is something is going to be the best for him and his family moving forward. I hope nothing but the best for him. I'm going to miss him. I'm going to miss him a lot. Again, that kind of quote shows you the type of coach that you are hiring.
And Gray just joined them this year. That's a pretty
he got in quick,
impactful couple of months. Yeah. So I think that kind of tells you as well.
All right, so next on this list, let's talk about Jaden Rashada. Again, this is a bit like the Wes Johnson thing. As this story continues to evolve, we have more details than we had previously. Yesterday, it was reported by On3 Sports, the new venture from the people that did Rivals and Go 247. Yeah. It was reported by, I think, Wes Crabtree from On3 Sports that Jaden Rashada had agreed to a $9.5 million deal with Miami. Did you see this? $9.5 million. Yeah. It was said that the Gator Collective of Florida offered him $11 million. Now, a lot of this was put out there by a California-based NIL lawyer, this guy, Michael Caspino, and it seems like now there's, I can't tell, Jake, if the story was just wrong or if there's a lot of cover your ass going on right now. And the reason why I say that is because there's a lot of tunes that are changing. First off, the Rashada family came out and said this is not true on the $9.5 million and the $11 million offer. Florida has said we didn't offer him $1. There is even Caspino. There's been Miami sources that are out there saying, there's no deal in place for Ruiz. John Ruiz, the main booster.
Who had to talk to the NCAA couple weeks ago.
Yes, exactly, right? He's saying that no deal is in place. And even Caspino, despite talking about 9.5 versus 11, he now has a new quote, we don't have a deal in place as of this moment. He has committed to the University of Miami to play football there. Everyone's saying we have a deal in place. We do not have a deal in place. Asked how soon an NIL deal could be reached, Caspino said within probably a couple of weeks. So, I don't know, man. That kind of sounds like a handshake agreement. $9.5 million still seems exorbitant.
$9.5 million.
And I still can't imagine that that's the going rate for a 4-star. I mean, I know like 4-star is good, right? But in college football where people love to throw money around, I can't fathom that these boosters would be so desperate to go $9.5 million for somebody that doesn't have the prestige of a 5-star next to their name, right? Like if Tennessee is getting their 5-star quarterback for $8 million, I would be surprised if Florida and Miami are really paying $9.5. Now, I will say this, Jake. I don't know why I just called you Danny.
That's all the push-ups I've been doing.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And yeah, your legs are looking pretty skinny and tiny.
Nah, that's never gonna happen for me. But
John Ruiz runs a tight ship at Miami. Like the NCAA came to talk to him, he didn't shy away. He said, "Look, here's a state law. I'm very successful. I've had my lawyers poring over this. I know what we're allowed to do, and we are going by the letter of the law." It seems like this dude Caspino, my read on it, he may have stepped out of line a little bit because you are not allowed to have a deal in place before you commit, and now everybody's crawfishing a little bit. Maybe Caspino got a little too reckless here.
A little bit for sure. If this is the going rate, though, for the 7th-rated quarterback in this class,
I can't fathom that.
Over $9 million. Like, what are we doing if that is, in fact, factual? Like, whoa. That's just, I never thought numbers would get like that. I mean, even the Tennessee quarterback that's committed to them, and the $8 million has been reported, like you said, like a lot of publications have him as a number 2 quarterback. Okay, 5-star, can't miss. The only reason he's not number 1 is because generational type guy in Arch Manning.
Yep.
Still wild. Like you'd have to times my NFL salary times 4 of my career to get to $8 million, and a high school kid's going to get $8 million to play college football. But if that's the going rate, I mean, that is just where are we going to get to if that's the going rate for
There's no money to pay these kids.
There's plenty of money. I'm not mad. I am not mad at college players getting money.
Hell no, I hope Jaden Rashada gets $9.5 million.
Well, see, I'll debate you on that one because I want guys that have proven it at the college level. We used to have this argument in the NFL all the time. That's why they changed the rookie scale.
Yes.
It was always like, wait a minute, you haven't done anything, and you're making 7 times what this 7-year vet's making.
Well,
that's the only reason, like, I want that money to go to people that have proven it in college football.
And I would argue that I think a rising tide raises all ships, right? Like, so if guys like this are getting that money now, then eventually, like if Jaden Rashada goes and busts, the people that funded him are going to be like, well, I'm not doing that again. And then maybe it transfers to that money eventually, like as the market settles itself. My hope, I don't know if this would happen, my hope would be that, okay, yeah, now we're going to start paying for more proven commodities as opposed to, but I guess recruiting's a big wrench and all that, right? Because you're trying to win recruiting battles.
Yeah, and we'll see if it ever, like if you have a bust, if the boosters and the collective whatever, like we're not doing that again. I mean, look at what Quinn Ewers got to go to Ohio State, and he left after a year.
Yeah.
And that really hadn't slowed Ohio State down. I mean, certainly they're still out there recruiting at a very high level. So, again, I'm all for players making money, but go ahead, like, hey, why don't you go, at least go show that you can do it and, help out the other guys on the team that have been there, done that. Maybe the left guard that's been starting for 3 years, he's been grinding. It's like, yeah, you'd like to see that guy get a piece of the pie as well. I mean, I understand quarterbacks and quarterback position. I do understand that. But that's crazy money. Like, if you sign that deal and you go to Miami and Tyler Van Dyke, who's a stud quarterback, let's say he had another year. If I'm him, I'm like, hold up.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. I made, $930,000 in NIL deals last year, and Jaden's making how much?
Yeah.
So you're going to have that as well.
It's a fascinating time. I'm excited to see how this Rashada, like what the truth of this story is, which we'll get over time. More OTB closing at the hour next.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to allstartoyotabatonrouge.com. All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.com. If you want to buy a new vehicle, maybe you want to buy a Toyota certified used vehicle, maybe you just want to rent. It's vacation season, Daniel. Maybe you can just forget about even traveling with your family, Danny. You don't care about them. You can cut out even the part where you fly with them if you go rent a vehicle from allstartoyotabatonrouge.com, and you'll get cheaper per-day rental prices than your traditional rental company. So you want to ignore your family, ride in a separate vehicle, not know their ages or anything about them, quite frankly, go to allstartoyotabatonrouge.com.
Oh, man, I just took the Highlander over to Fairhope over the weekend. It makes trips easier. Like, it really does. All the features that you have in the vehicle, right in the middle console. You got a wireless charger. I mean, it has everything that you can imagine in these new Toyotas. So go check them out, All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law offices of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
And this year, 2022, it's time to finally treat yourself. Bring your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service. You want the latest and greatest marine technology? You want to go to the place that has not one, but two NMEA-certified techs. Family-owned and operated by the Sherman family for 30 years, front-to-back is the answer in Baton Rouge for all of your custom boat needs. So head to fronttobackboatservice.com or find them on Facebook, Front to Back Boat Service.
My own people call me an Uncle Tom. I play music. Been wined and dined by royalty. Trying to bring people together. All people. But regardless of all that kind of stuff, I'm still Louis Armstrong.
Here's the man you're waiting for, the king of jazz, Louis Satchmo Armstrong.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor?
Poor boy raised amid turn-of-the-century New Orleans, Louis Armstrong became one of the most recognizable people on earth. Visit dropbiscuit.com today and check out the trailer to our first original series, Pops, The Louis Armstrong Story, starring Reno Wilson. Subscribe today. All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
No. Okay, Champ's trying to say that, and if it took it this way, I want to be clear about my stance on this. I said a rising tide raises all ships, right? So I said a $9.5 million deal. I approve of because I think it's good for players in the end. And now I said if he flames out, maybe in an ideal world, but recruiting's a big wrench in all this, maybe in an ideal world, that volume of money gets transferred to more proven commodities. But as long as the overall volume of player money is going up, then most players will benefit. I never said that if he flames out, it would make any deals cheaper. And as Jake pointed out, like, look at Quinn Ewers, right? He got that $1 million deal, left every year, and hasn't slowed anybody down. The numbers continue to go up. And again, though, the proven commodity thing, now that may not happen because these are recruiting battles, right? And so that is when the main bidding war will take place. What's interesting, Jake, is it's almost a moving of the goalpost of when you have to start taking football hyper seriously. right? Because like in college, you're working for that NFL deal. This is, as you alluded to, an NFL draft pre-rookie wage scale.
Yeah.
So like, if you
This
ball
is
out
Sam
in
Bradford.
high school, yes, if you ball out in high school, you can make yourself millions. Like, so like go, I mean,
You hear
I'd be
that, Jackson?
smashing kids.
You hear that, Jackson?
2A private school Georgia ball. Let's go. Smashing kids, dude. But yeah.
And the positions that get it at every level are going to get it in high school. The quarterbacks are going to be first. Edge rushers are probably going to be second. Offensive lineman, tackle's going to be third. Like, it's going to be the same pecking order. But, I mean, you're right. I mean, now you can go out there and you can earn life-changing money.
Well, and there's
in
going to
high
be
school.
probably a trickle-down effect to where, you know, if I was in high school now, would I transfer to a bigger school, right? Do you go to an IMG? Do you try to go to like an Evangel or something? There's money to be made.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to AccuTempBR.com, AccuTempBR.com. By the way, we're going to start next hour with OTB mailbags. You can go to get your questions in the chat right now. But AccuTempBR.com for all your AC, heating, and electrical needs. You want to go to the place that says service to the highest degree. And they mean it, okay? It's not just lip service. It's literally built into their core mission statement. And look, we've toured the facilities. We've met with the apprenticeship groups, which, by the way, if you want to get a job, they can maybe be trained up in a manner a couple of months. You'll be making great money. They just serve the community, man. And the reason, look at the online reviews. If you think that I'm paid to do this, which I am, you know, and you don't trust me, go look at the online reviews, okay? Go to AccuTempBR.com today.
Yeah, they've helped me. They've helped T. They've also helped Mario now. Now, you know, Danny's too cool already, so they hadn't helped him, but they probably will in the future. AccuTempBR.com, AccuTempBR.com. That is the site to go to today.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Good morning. It's 8 a.m. on Tuesday, June 28th. Your government taco forecast today in Baton Rouge. Expect cloudy skies with a high of 91. Government taco, where our pickled onions always make a taco wet. Coming up on OTB, we talk to LSU baseball coach Jay Johnson at 8:30, and Ross Jackson of the Locked On Saints podcast joins the show at 9:15. We also have our OTB mailbag coming up next, so get your questions into the Bayou Ford YouTube chat. You can follow today's show on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at OTB_ESPN, or watch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel. Hour number 2 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, starts now.
Let we go! All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah!
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, P, they said I gotta come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo, yo, yo.
What are you giggling about, Daniel? What's going on over here? There's a lot of sideways glances being thrown around the room. Is there a text message or something I'm mentioning? Jake, are you gambling on DraftKings? What are you doing right now?
No, I'm not.
If you were, it'd be a pretty good ad read. You're
No,
not.
actually, they are. They're doing maintenance until actually maybe 1 minute ago. I think it actually cleared up.
Okay.
They were doing scheduled maintenance, so a lot of people were actually asking on Twitter what was going on with DraftKings. They were doing maintenance from 6 to 8.
There you go. DraftKings Sportsbook app. Download it today. It's not live. Don't worry about it. We'll get to it later. All right. I'm just telling Mars who doesn't play the legal disclaimer that we don't play for weeks, so we're supposed to be playing. But you know what, guys? It's never about what you did yesterday. It ain't about the last play. It's all about the next play, right? One snap and clear. Live in the present. Michael Jordan's greatest single attribute. All right, let's go ahead and dive in to some OTB mailbag.
Special delivery! I have this special delivery for Off the Bench. And look, it is marked most urgent.
We'll be writing to you.
The internet. What the is the internet?
All right. Hashtag OTB mailbag. If you could upgrade LSU concessions across every event, what would be the one thing you would add?
Cheeseburgers in the press box.
Yeah.
No, the press box is usually okay.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
but still, you can still add stuff.
It's got a distinct lack of burgers. I mean,
You
I
can-
agree.
No, you can still add stuff. I'm saying like a lot of press boxes have trash food.
That's true.
I don't know if you covered this game, Mario. It was a while back. Ole Miss tried to do gumbo. It was awful. It was like a thick green sauce. I don't know if they were trying to troll everybody, but it was terrible.
I remember Twitter that day. It was bad.
Oh, it was awful.
There's a good chance. I mean, the first time I ever tried to make gumbo, I used a pre-made roux way back in like 2013. I was fresh out of college.
Yeah.
And it came out green. So I wonder if they went with some pre-made roux, potentially.
You can't do that when LSU's coming to town. Because you're feeding your own
well,
people.
You try. I mean, it's a thought that counts.
No,
right?
no, not with that.
They're like, oh, let's do local food. We'll make it for. Yeah, I mean, the worst crawfish I ever had was at an Alabama frat party. These things tasted like rubber. There was no flavor in them whatsoever. They were awful. It still thinks about them and it makes me want to throw up to this day. I'm with Mar, dude. Cheeseburgers. Like, come on, where are the cheeseburgers at, y'all?
God,
Cheeseburgers in the press box. That's the.
No, you know what you need to get,
more
like
than me and Mario will be
like
running
some
on.
good, like thin cut fried catfish.
Ooh,
in the
now that would
press
be
box.
actually good.
Like, because it's like you can grab it with your hand, you're just walking by, like, oh, what's that right there? I mean, Mario can grab a cheeseburger on the way, like walking past. Not a lot of people can.
What's the beer limit if I'm in concessions and I'm trying to buy beer? Is it 2?
I think it should go up to 3.
Bump it up to 3.
Because
Okay?
everybody can do the triangle.
That's what we're looking for. Even my tiny hands can do the triangle.
Yep.
What would you boys change, Danny? What would you change? Great
Cheeseburgers.
take.
I'd be cheeseburgers.
Great take. Yeah,
I
awesome,
don't
Danny.
know.
Good job, dude. You could have gone with tacos. It was right there in front of you.
Right.
What? What? You could have. Hashtag OTB street tacos. It'd be delicious. Hashtag OTB meal. You're telling me you wouldn't love if there was like a badass Mexican street taco stand at an LSU baseball game. It'd be awesome.
That wouldn't happen.
Yeah, what if
Not
it
in
did?
Baton Rouge.
Why not? You can't find someone who either has traveled to the homeland and learned how to do it, or who has studied in Mexico. You absolutely could, dude.
Just drive the truck into the press box.
Yeah, I'd smash for sure. Eat some of them wet tacos. Hashtag OTB mailbag. Will Brian Kelly be on the show during football season? Probably not. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't think that's something that he's ever done.
No.
Us having Coach O on weekly was pretty unique.
Yes. Also, I mean, I don't hate it. It is interesting to be able to have that access, but at the same time, it is that game of like, you know, you're not really ever going to ask, or even if you do, the response you're going to be met with. It's not a very real conversation all the time. Like when things are good, it's awesome and everything's great. It's very easy to answer. When things go bad, you ask the tough questions, but you're never really getting real answers. And so sometimes when things are bad, I did question the value of it. Matthew W. says, hashtag OTB mailbag. What do you think legends would have made in NIL deals? The Cannon, Kevin Falk, T-Bob, Jake. First off, the Cannon would not have made anything because he went to Northwestern State.
Northwestern State's got some alums.
For sure. But he was not necessarily the biggest recruit out of high school. Jake, you would have banked at the end for sure. Or
at the beginning, they would have given me money not to come here.
Yeah, exactly. I think I would have done okay. I think Kevin Falk would have broke the bank. I think it's like we said yesterday. We talk about Tyron all the time, Jake. Leonard Fournette, and he was talking about this the other day. He would have made. I mean, he said $10 million. I say at least that. At least $10 million.
The guy that would have benefited the most, I think, outside of Joe, maybe, because Tyron was, from Louisiana, so in high school, I guess the recruiting profile wasn't
because
huge.
Lenny was the legend from day one, dude, the playground legend.
I guess Tyron would have caught it at the back end with all the merchandise because he had the nickname.
Yes.
The nickname, that would have just completely blown up. NFTs, shirts, everything.
Emil McClellan does raise a great point. Joe McKnight and Brock Berlin would have been massive.
Brock would have gotten paid.
Bro, so with Joe McKnight, he was in my class, and I never forget being on the field before a game and, being recruited, and the entire stadium starts chanting Joe McKnight. It was pretty wild.
I didn't know that. That's
yeah.
So he came to Evangel for like 2 games during the hurricane.
Oh, McKnight did.
Yeah, it's like I wasn't there. I was already gone. Yeah, he played. I think he played for Evangel for like 2 games because of Katrina, and then went back down to John Curtis once everything was okay. Yeah.
Oh man, that's crazy, dude. Billy Cannon. I thought you were talking about the Cannon. My bad, dude.
The Halloween merchandise would have been
dude, Billy Cannon would have gotten, in a relative to the 1950s pay scale, he would have gotten like $15, and he'd have been like, bam, bam, bam.
But every Halloween, he would have been a superstar.
Dude, you spilled your coffee.
Second day in a row.
37 times since I've been here.
Second day in a row. I'm not used to these venti cups. They're too big. Toss me the paper towels. Damn it. John Hopper asks, hashtag OTB mailbag. You get a machine that allows you to see alternative outcomes in history. You can see one from your own past and one unrelated to you. What are you viewing? For example, if you lost World War II, et cetera, et cetera.
Oh, okay. So you can go back to a moment from your past?
Yes. There is something like, okay, and this is one where really you'd have to almost think deeply on it if you wanted to maximize the good answer. We talk about college football all the time here, though. It would be fascinating for me to see personally, like, what if, I had gone to, like, Georgia or something like that. Like,
yeah.
Because my life would be drastically and fundamentally different.
For me, It was probably when I re-signed with the Chargers instead of taking a deal with Seattle. Flynn was there. I think it would have been a lot of fun. I think I probably would have fit that culture pretty well.
Yep.
Now,
Legion of Boom.
With that being said, then I never get to Denver, and I never get a chance to play with some of the guys I consider, some of my best friends, and getting a chance to play with Peyton Manning and all of that. But it was a hard decision. I mean, I'm sitting there and Katie's like, "Hey, it's up to you. We'll do whatever you want to do." But it's like, gosh, do I re-sign with what is comfortable, or do I go move, try to be a Seahawk? And I did what was comfortable, and it was probably not the right decision.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just wondering, what if I, what if I never married my wife, right, boys? I mean, right? How much different would my life be? So what about you, Mark?
So my parents met each other in Guatemala. They came to LSU, got married, but they were this close to choosing Oklahoma as their college choice. So I would have been a Sooner, at least in lineage. I always think what would have happened if they would have chose Oklahoma, how different my life would be.
What about you, Danny? Anything? And you go the history route as well. You don't have to do personal. I got one for the history coming up.
If I could choose any history moment that.
Yeah, that could be different. Like for instance, what jumped to my head is the. You ever heard the story of Vasily Alexandrovich Krupov? I don't know exactly how to say his name. He is a Russian Soviet naval soldier who, back in the day, there was some wonky radar thing where basically the Soviets thought that the U.S. had launched a nuke, and his superiors gave him the go-ahead, told him to launch a nuke, and he didn't do it on his own. He defied orders, broke the chain of command, and did not do it. What if he actually flips that switch? Who knows what the world looks like today?
Yeah, shout out to that guy.
Yeah, saving the world.
Could I tie back to sports for a second?
Yeah.
I was talking to Danny about this game before the show, actually. Game 7, 2008, second round, Hornets, Spurs. Gennaro Parga missed a three,
Yes.
final minute of the game.
Yes.
Wide open after he had made 2 straight threes that were contested. Had he made that shot, tied the game, I feel like the Hornets could have won. Would have been an interesting conference finals against the Lakers. That's something I would have changed.
Hell yes, dude. Gennaro Pargo is a name that will forever live in Pelicans fans' minds that were around for that time and that team.
It's a shame that's his
because he
defining
wasn't
moment.
the star on that team, but he was such a key part of that run.
Yeah, he was a beast. He was their best bench player. It's a shame that's kind of his defining moment, but it is what it is.
All right, if any more good answers pop up in your head, we can get to them as well. Sportsman 79, are you guys ready for Saints football? Hell
I'm ready for all
yes.
football, yeah.
I'm ready for all football, but I am more excited for this Saints team than I have been in years, simply because there is so much new and because there's so much potential. I think this is a team that can be very good, but it does come down to our boy, Jameis. And as a firm Jameis stan, I have cast my lot with him, and I hope that it works out. Hashtag OGB mailbag. First big purchase Jake Hester made when he signed with the Chargers.
I bought a new vehicle, a Dodge Charger from Landers Dodge up in Bossier City, Louisiana. I gave my brother, I had a Durango. I gave my older brother Adam that. Bought a Charger and bought Katie a Jeep.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. Okay, so the 3 cars?
Yeah, Katie gave her car back to her family, and
Only
we
one
went and
brother
new
got a
cars.
car?
Only had one car. Actually, no.
How'd you choose?
Katie bought my little brother Chance a Jeep Cherokee.
Okay, hell yeah.
And when
There
I
you
say
go.
Katie, she did it.
Hell
Not
yeah,
me.
dude.
It had nothing to
Hashtag
do with it.
OTB mailbag. Every country has a national hero, but who is your national villain?
Cash Me Outside, girl.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, Mario. That makes perfect sense for you. Who's the national villain? Man, this is a complicated question.
Roger
I just read that book, Bomber Mafia, and it talks a lot about Curtis LeMay and some of the things that Curtis LeMay did in World War II in terms of the terror bombing of Japan is some of the most horrifying stuff that you could ever possibly read. But I do also recognize that you can make the argument that it was maybe the lesser of 2 awful evils. I don't know. It's just staggering to read about the terror bombing of Japan and think that was good or justifiable. Sorry, I didn't mean to bring things down there.
I mean, whoa.
Maybe curse him. I don't know though, but he's also, I don't know. I don't even know if I fully believe it. You know what I find in real life, the binary constructs of hero villain don't tend to actually ever work out, right? Like there are no good guys or bad guys. Even Jimmy Carter, who's one of the most pacifist presidents of all time, at a certain point had to order for people to be killed, right? I mean, heroes and villains is a construct that works great in stories, doesn't always work in the real world. Hashtag go to be mailbag. I've heard UNO will try to establish a football program in the next couple of years. Thoughts? I hope they do. I'm a big privateer fan. Defend the ship.
I think I'd be all for that.
Yeah, hell yeah.
You remember when they had a football team?
No.
Y'all remember that?
No.
Oh, that was like a big deal.
What years?
Well, they only had it for like 2 years.
It was when I was at Brother Martin. It was like around 2012.
Yeah, my brother actually played for the team.
It was a club team. It wasn't NCAA affiliated.
Yeah,
it was like a club.
Yeah, it was a club. Yeah.
Well, I know I was telling y'all a couple of weeks ago, Centenary College in my hometown in Shreveport, they used to have football, and they played like Arkansas and LSU and all that, and it went away 60, 70 years ago. They just brought it back, and I think, I could be completely wrong, they're going to be NAIA or junior college or something. It's obviously not going to be major college football, but they're bringing it back. So I'd love to see UNO in the Southland playing football.
Yeah, I mean, I'm never going to be like, no, I don't want them to play. I don't want more sports. But as someone who went to a ton of UNO basketball games, and when they were good too, I will have to say the students are going to have to show me that they would go out and support it, because there was at times a lack of support for the baseball program. That was like playing in NCAA tournaments and whatnot. All right, let's see if there's one more here. Anything good?
Going back to the change moment of history, I would choose the Saints non-pass interference call against the Rams.
Ugh. Wow. Duh. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, absolutely. You win the game. You're in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's one. Raheem Moore, deeper than the deepest, would not allow the Ravens receiver behind him when we're up 7 with 30 seconds left.
I would have never punched Les Miles at halftime in the national championship game,
Right.
Never done it. I mean, if only I could have gone back and not been gambling and fighting all night and, punching Coach Miles and leading revolutions and breaking up the locker room. I'd love to change it. Maybe it'd have a ring. All right, when we get back here, we're gonna fill the gap. I got a few things on the docket, and then we got Jay Johnson coming up at 8:30. Keep it locked here on OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Go to Golf Suites today, y'all. Golf Suites is so much fun. I went there the other day. Just opened up off of Segan Lane. Jake, you hit off the ground. It's great. True driving range experience. They got the PGA TrackMan technology where there's all sorts of mini games. You have a TV in your bay, right? You can play all sorts of mini games, but you can also play like famous courses, and it really feels like you're playing them, except you don't even have to putt. You get close enough to the hole, they just knock it in for you. It's wild how quickly they got in the rhythm of feeling like I was just hanging and playing around with the fellas. It's very affordable. They're open until 1 a.m. on the weekends. They got awesome drinks, full bar, full food. It's just an awesome place to go chill with your friends, man. Golf Suites, open off of Segan. Go check it out today.
Yeah, and I give you the hours all the time. So like tonight, they're going to be open until 10 p.m. So if you want to wait maybe a little bit later, maybe you want to be a little bit cooler and you want to go out there with the family, like it's open till 10 p.m. So you can certainly do that. Check out the hours on the website, golfsuites.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
My own people call me an Uncle Tom. I play music. Been wined and dined by royalty. Trying to bring people together. All people. But regardless of all that kind of stuff, I'm still Louis Armstrong.
Here's the man you're waiting for, the king of jazz, Louis Armstrong.
crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
And this year, 2022, it's time to finally treat yourself. Bring your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service. You want the latest and greatest marine technology? You want to go to the place that has not one, but two NMEA-certified techs. Family-owned and operated by the Sherman family for 30 years, Front-to-Back is the answer in Baton Rouge for all of your custom boat needs. So head to front-to-backboatservice.com or find them on Facebook, Front-to-Back Boat Service.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
For a Tuesday edition of Hunt and Hill, AJ Nola, dad to Austin and Aaron, will jump aboard, and we'll talk with Shay Dixon as well. Hunt and Hill, noon to 2 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Esther and T-Bob, the 2022 LAB Prestige Award winner for Best Sports Radio Show, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
We didn't talk about it because I sometimes hesitate to mention anything that even has a whiff of politics and how toxic it gets so very quickly. But Biden falling off that bike is some of the funniest stuff ever. I mean, it is legitimately hyper funny. What was it, Gerald Ford, who fell getting off an airplane back in the day? I remember it was like a big joke back in the day. Did Gerald Ford play O-line in Michigan? Am I making both of these stories up?
I know Les Miles did.
I know. President of LSU for a time there, just about. I'm pretty sure that I'm right on both of those, but we will see. Either way, man,
I'm good at those.
You can't be falling off a bike like that. It's a tough look, dude. Just don't get on the bike. I don't know.
Hey, and we've all been there as children when you're falling off that bike. It is super slow-mo, too.
There's no stopping it.
Nope. And you know it's coming, and you're just like...
And time slows down because you get that little adrenaline rush where you're like... and as you're going down, you're like, oh, my God, no. I remember when I was a recruit and I was in Fred's and I was trying to be cool. I was in high school. I just had labrum surgery, so my arm was in a sling, and we were drinking, playing flip cup, and doing all this stuff. And I was like pole dancing to try to be funny, and I was swinging around the pole, and my hand slipped off as I was mid-swing, and I'll never forget. It just so clearly locked in my head. Like I said, everything slowed down, and I just almost felt like I floated backwards to the ground. Beer bottle smashed everywhere. Tried to be cool and pick it up and drink it. Cut my lip. Started bleeding. It was a disaster.
I mean, a couple things. That's on you for thinking your hands were big enough to wrap it around the pole. Well, the second part of that is, like, you knew the glass was probably going to cut you, but you're such a meathead, which I love. You thought that you were just going to chug this beer and nothing was going to happen.
Well, I thought it was the recovery. Yeah. I actually didn't think about the glass being cut at all. I just was in, like, panic recovery mode, and I thought, you got to be cool. You got to be cool. Chug the beer. which is, yes, admittedly, that is a very meathead mindset to operate out of.
I love it. I mean, I'll try to live my life by that mindset.
Look at this, dude. Gerald Ford played center, linebacker, and deep snapper in Michigan. Let's go.
Ooh, okay.
And I think he did fall out of a plane.
We had Creed Humphrey at the Senior Bowl Hall of Fame deal yesterday and Sunday. Dude, that guy's a rookie and started all 17 games at center. Like, you know how hard that is to do?
Did Lloyd do that? Did he get all 17?
I think he didn't get – I don't know if he got all 17, but, I mean, we talked about it when it happened. I mean, him just being a starter.
Yeah.
Are you – like, you got to call out the mic.
Yeah,
you got to slide protection. You got to notice fronts. You got to put everybody in the right position.
I want to say David Andrews may have started.
He did for the Patriots?
That's insane.
Yes.
Can you fathom starting for Tom Brady
and Bill Belichick
as a rookie? Yes, and Bill Belichick.
I mean,
and the vets in that locker room. That is terrifying, quite frankly.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember hearing Stephen Ridley stories about Brady, and it'd be like, you know, it'd be pre-snap or whatever, and he would like stop everything and tell Ridley, like, hey, 6 inches. Like, you got to move you're like 6 inches out of place, essentially. And so when you're dealing with that level of perfectionism, and you got to be a rookie center making the calls and everything, and actually playing good football while you go to the NFL, yeah, that blows my mind. Especially because I grew up with him.
Those quarterbacks, man, they just see it different. So, I mean, Mahomes is like, he's one of those guys too. Like, you're Andy Reid, Mahomes. That's your coach, and you're a center. You're a lefty center.
That's what it was. Chiefs.
Creed Humphrey, lefty center.
Okay, see, I didn't know who
Did
Creed
you snap
Humphrey
it
was. Yeah, hell yeah, dude.
Okay, so Creed Humphrey, Chiefs, Oklahoma, second-round pick, started all 17 games, got a lot of first-team All-Pro votes. So he was at Mobile for the because they pick a rookie to go in as well.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have to spend a lot of time on this, but this class, it was Phillip Rivers, Von Miller, Dak Prescott, Kevin Falk, Patrick Willis.
Damn.
I mean, it was a class.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there like Patrick Willis and Von Miller walking by. I had like PTSD. I started like trying to get in a three-point stance. I thought they were going to try to bull rush me again.
P. Willie, never forget Joe Barksdale kicked Von Miller's ass at the Cotton Bowl in 2010. Shut him down. It's how our boy Joe ended up helping out his draft stock and getting bumped up a bit on draft day.
That can do it. Foster Moreau shutting down Myles Garrett, got him drafted as high as, where he went for the Raiders.
And then also never forget Patrick Willis playing at JV that one time. Oh, my God, dude.
We talked about it.
Look up the Patrick Willis, Justin Vincent tackle, Danny, so you can play it. Now, LSU whooped Ole Miss's ass. I was on the sideline. I was being recruited by two Ole Miss.
But that was the point, and I brought it up with P. Willie. I'm like, dude, we were crushing y'all, and you still you were the only one for Ole Miss that was still playing. You body slammed my boy right there. He's so humble though. He's the most humble person. That's what was weird. He was like an assassin, and I've told y'all this. He was the best I ever played against.
Yeah,
faster, smarter, stronger than you. But he would dominate you, and then he would tap you on the butt.
Oh my God, dude!
This is the most emotion you'll ever see from him.
I've never seen a tackle like that, dude.
Look, not really even celebrating. Dude, he's trying to go back to the huddle.
Ole Miss, get some names on the back of your jersey, dude. What are we doing, dude? What is this? Bushley?
We're old. Look how grainy this is.
This is, okay, yes, I saw this live. I saw this with my eyeballs. Oof. I was on the sideline at Oxford, and now this looks like it's from the 1970s, dude. It's crazy.
I was a sophomore.
Oh, my God, dude.
I remember being on the sidelines, and me and Joe Adai were like, oh, my
It's like the Friday of Dang!
Oh, yeah.
The entire sideline all at once.
I remember Joe going, that ain't never going away.
There we go. What if T-Bob in that Ole Miss red? What if is probably nothing would have happened because what's going on here in the document? It seems like y'all are having a conversation. What's the biggest thrill y'all have ever experienced while betting on sports?
That was just a topic suggestion by me.
And then somebody typed BITCH.
Yeah, you could guess who this somebody is.
Oh, that was Danny? Okay. What, Mario, I'm assuming as we go to break here, what is your thrill gambling that you wanted to discuss?
Has to be St. Peter's during the NCAA tournament. That was a lot of fun because after they won the first game against Kentucky, I just kept betting on them, and they got all the way to the Elite Eight. Should have got to the Final Four, but that was a hell of a thrill, and I was in Vegas, and it was National Peacock Day.
That's true. It did help me in my DraftKings nut as well, although I'm on a bit of a cold streak lately, boys. I am slowly but surely.
You didn't do that three-team baseball parlay that day?
We never landed on one. We never landed on one. I asked you, and then you were like, "Okay, I have some ideas. Let me get back to you." And we never
gave you
circled
3
back around
teams.
to it. I don't. I can't remember. I thought we like had 2. Maybe we were looking for third. For some reason, we were looking for some. We didn't get it. But no, if you got any more, I need some. In fact, you can go to download the DraftKings app. We'll do it in a minute. Let's go to Jay Johnson coming up next here on OTB.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
GEAUXroof.com. 927-8300 is the number. 927-8300. Go to Go Roof today. And look, you're going to get a free professional estimate. Daniel Bash saying, man, that had 360p video. Hey, it's probably on 1080. But yeah, what are you going to do? Go to GEAUXroof.com today. They spell it that way because they're from the community, okay? And all they want to make sure is that the community's roofing needs are taken care of. They're not trying to maximize profit. They're not trying to screw anybody over. Just want to make sure that you're good to go. And that's why they offer a free professional estimate. That's why everybody's licensed, bond, insured. That's why they go out of their way on their own to give you a 2-year workmanship guarantee on top of the manufacturer warranty. So when you work at Go Roof, you're going to find you get a beautiful new roof every shingle time. So call them 927-8300. Hit them with the roof side. And then, man, you'll, get figure out exactly what's going on your roof for free. GoRoof.com. Call now.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law offices of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
My own people call me an Uncle Tom. I play music. Been wined and dined by royalty. Trying to bring people together. All people. But regardless of all that kind of stuff, I'm still Louis Armstrong.
Here's the man you're waiting for, the king of jazz, Louis Armstrong.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital.
5 ESPN and Guarantee Media bring you Drop Biscuit Studios. It's a southern home for storytellers. Visit dropbiscuit.com today and check out the trailer to our first original series, Pops, The Louis Armstrong Story, starring Reno Wilson. Subscribe today. All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Welcome back, OTB. T-Bob, Jake Martin, Dana hanging out with you. So excited to talk to the man that has continued to provide for all of us talking heads during the beginnings of the doldrums of summer, as there has been a consistent stream of positive LSU baseball news. And we'll talk about it right now with the head coach of LSU baseball, Coach Jay Johnson. Coach Johnson, what's up, man? Thank you so much for coming on with us today. I know you are incredibly busy right now, so we thank you for making some time.
You got it. Good to talk to you guys again.
Okay, so let's dive into it. Now, I know we cannot get into the specifics of players, so we will not. I want to start with the coaching hires. As we talked a few weeks ago, and you've had a crazy offseason. You've been managing this thing, kind of running it all by yourself in some ways, or at least, as you try to not only add to the roster, but add to the staff. But now you have added to the staff, and it's in a move that shocked a lot of people as Wes Johnson goes from being the active Twins pitching coach, now the LSU baseball pitching coach. What attracted you to Coach Johnson wanting to bring him down here besides y'all sharing a last name?
Yeah, the last name definitely had nothing to do with it. Yeah, I actually I've known Wes for a while. We competed in the 2016 Super Regional Arizona, Mississippi State. He was the pitching coach for Mississippi State. He was kind of one of those first trend-setting pitching coaches when he went to Dallas Baptist. And then at Arkansas, we actually played Arkansas in 2017 and 2018 at Arizona. So very familiar with him, competed against him during that phase. And then I think he's the first college coach to go straight from college to the major league pitching coach. Yeah. And now he's probably the first one to go straight back in the middle of a season. You're just talking about a complete skill set. You're talking about one of the best pitching coaches in the world at any level and truly one of the elite developers. And if you're going to win at a national championship level the way I do here at LSU, you have to have and build an elite pitching staff. And so I talked to him about the position when I was hired last year. It simply did not work with where he was at in his time frame with the Twins. And then the opportunity presented itself with Coach Kelly, who did a great job taking the job at Washington. And we kicked the tires, and some things were different, this time around as far as where he was at and things he wanted to do. And so we started talking about it, had a great list of three really, really elite candidates, and, really happy to land Wes and excited. He's already making an impact and really thankful for that.
Yeah, Coach, a little fun fact here. Leah Van of The Advocate did some research. It looks like Dick Hauser back in 1980 is the only other coach to make that college to MLB jump like that.
Yeah, and it wasn't a surprise to me when I heard it. You could count on one hand, over the last 5 years, kind of that elite group of pitching coaches, and it's such an important position. And Wes has certainly always been at the forefront of that. And like I said, he was somebody I wanted to bring here last year when I took the job. It didn't work out, and for good reason. And when the opportunity presented itself, I thought it was in my best interest and our program's best interest to do some due diligence and see if we could get it to where it needed to be. And really excited that we did.
Coach, something we were watching closely was, kind of how the Twins pitching staff, and not to get into names, but you mentioned development. We went back, and there's a couple of guys that were either all-stars prior or top prospects that had kind of been struggling when they got to the Twins this year, and every single pitcher has improved their ERA by a full run or more. And so, that's something that stands out to me. You get somebody that has the talent. Maybe they lost it a little bit along the way, but he brings them back to form. That, to me, may be one of the most impressive things he's done with the Twins this year.
Yeah, and I think you look at a guy like Chris Archer, who's, clearly one of the most talented pitchers in the big leagues and had some scuffles, and he gives Wes a lot of credit for getting him back on track and having a great season right now. And so you're talking about the elite of the elite. You're talking about the types of pitchers that all our pitchers here at LSU want to become, and you're talking about a guy that is getting them to the highest level of their profession, be it, all-stars,
Yeah.
big money free agent contracts. And this is now going to be the pitching coach at LSU. And I couldn't be more fired up about it. And our current pitchers and our future pitchers definitely should be.
Well, and we're talking to head coach Jay Johnson here on OTB. Coach, I mean, it feels to me like a huge reinforcement of the pitch that you've basically laying out there for, since you got the job, which is, look, the game has changed, and now the best path to realizing your MLB dreams lies going through college. I feel like, do you agree? Does Wes Johnson kind of enhance this pitch?
Oh, there's no question about it. Like, I can't wait to get him in front of some guys. I think, given the type of character he has, he offered to the Twins to coach this 5-game series against the Indians. So he's going to be with them until Thursday. I thought that was a fair trade. And, for 4 days, the Twins-Indians broadcast can talk about how Wes Johnson's coming to LSU. So it's not bad.
That's a great point.
But once we get him past this series, then we'll definitely get him on the phone with our current pitchers and our recruiting class. That we're going to lose some guys in the draft. There's no question about it. There's nothing we're going to be able to do about that. But I think if there's some of these guys that are on the fence or it tips one way, I do think this can help us in that regard, and it will certainly help us going forward the longer he's here.
All right, Coach. So who's been helping you on the recruiting trail? Not only the high school players, the guys you've got coming in, but also in the transfer portal. The assistant coaches have gone off and they've become head coaches, which I know you're proud of. But what's it been like, trying to get out there because you've been really successful over the last week or so?
Yeah, I think it is what it is. I mean, I'm just one of those guys that you can't outcoach your own bad team, and recruiting is the most important element of our success here. I've always believed that, and had a lot of success at the previous stops of being engaged in that. So honestly, nothing really changed. I just want to win a national championship. We weren't in Omaha, so my first thought goes to what is the best thing that I can do to help our program. And whether Dan or Jason were here, I would have operated the exact same way. So honestly, nothing really changed. And, we just had a plan. And once we were eliminated on that Monday night, it kind of started that night. At that time, neither of those guys actually had those jobs on the radar. That did not materialize till after we were done. And it materialized quickly, though. And, I just kind of laid out a priority list of what's the most important thing. Well, the most important thing is having our roster in the best position that it could possibly be in this new landscape of college baseball.
Yep.
Then it was hiring a pitching coach. And then it was kind of getting to a recruiting coordinator, position player type coach. But, a couple guys have stepped up. Tyler Nordgren, our director of operations, is a rising star in this profession. He brings so much to the table. And he's been working closely with me and been engaged in these campus visits. Jamie Tudko, our director of video and scouting, has been instrumental in some things we put together to present to these guys. So those two guys have been monumental in this effort here over the last couple of weeks.
Coach, how much I know you are a notorious film grinder. As you are pitching high school recruits or college transfers in the portal, as you are pitching kids that they should make their home LSU, how much is film study a part of it? And do you ever worry oh man, I spent all this time watching film and he's not even going to come here? Like how much does that factor into you pitching them to join up here?
Yeah, I think, one of the biggest sales of our program is going to be development. And a lot of people talk about it. Some people actually do it. It's just we're going to do it. And so relative to what we put in front of them is you just want to put forth a clear, concise plan of, hey, this is what you want to do. Hey, I want to play this particular position. I want to be this type of hitter. Okay. And coaches will just say for sure, you could do that here, but they don't ever give them a plan. We actually give them a plan of how we're going to get them there. And that's probably one of the most important things we do. And so, we do include some video and look into those types of things. And while we're doing that, you can't worry about, the losses in the recruiting thing. You just got to go at it. We have a lot to sell here at LSU, and you get your heart broken every once in a while, but at a place like this, it's been a lot better. We've ended up on the right side of these things a lot more than we haven't, and honestly, it's exactly why I came here.
Hey, Coach, so the draft is still 3 weeks away, and you've done a great job in the portal. You mentioned you're probably going to lose some players to the draft, but also, you know, you have high hopes to be able to get some on campus. So when you're on the trail, when you're in the transfer portal, like, do you pause it at all, like trying to find out exactly who's going to be on this roster after the draft and maybe not overcommit, or do you just continue to try to get as many good players as you can?
No, it's a deliberate plan. I mean, if you looked at my desk right now, there's 16 pieces of paper that look like they have the exact same thing written out over and over again. I don't know if it's like therapy or me being deliberate, but trying to figure out how this thing's going to go. You know, I mean, you can make some educated guesses based on the past.
Right.
You know, based on, you know, does a player decide to, hey, I was going to come to summer school, now I'm not going to come to summer school because I want to see what happens in the draft. That can kind of lead you in a certain direction of what they're going to do. You know, those types of things. You know, the kid from going to Vanderbilt pulled himself out of the draft, you know, and, you know, for our recruits, I mean, they could easily call me and tell me, hey, they're pulling their name out of the draft and make it public. And yeah, that might impact what we're going to do. But, you know, they have to do that to, you know, move accordingly. And if they don't, I just don't want to ever put our program in a bad position. And I'll tell you what's different with this portal. The first time as program, you know, we actually have the ability to cover some losses. You know, we had to do that last year because 5 of the kids in the recruiting class signed, but we were able to, you know, get a few of those pitchers that were key in our bullpen, and obviously Jacob Berry. I mean, if you take Jacob Berry, Riley Cooper, Tyler McManus, Bryce Collins off our team this year, it doesn't look the same, and the results aren't the same. Yeah. So it's nice to be able to have a contingency plan now.
Yeah, and I would say that, well, we can't go to specifics. You have taken full advantage of that newly afforded opportunity. I love Reservoir Dogs. My favorite character in Reservoir Dogs is Mr. White. You have a great day, Coach. We will talk to you again soon. I have a million more questions that we can answer, but I know you're a very busy man as you put this all together. Thank you so much for coming on today.
All right, guys. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, Coach.
Coach Jay Johnson, absolutely doing work right now on the recruiting trail, both in the transfer portal and with this class. We'll be back to close out hour number 2 next here on OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
I want you to go to iticollege.edu, iticollege.edu. This is a trade school where it's now I want to be clear here because sometimes people hear this and they think of like some of the national kind of scammy commercials that they've seen in the past. No. This is not that. This is a local family-owned Baton Rouge trade school that's been around for over 40 years. Y'all been changing the lives of people here. And there's not a better return on the investment that you can make in yourself and the entire state. That's not me. That's Georgetown saying that. As they looked at, what you pay to go to a school here versus what you can expect to make 10, 20, 30, 40 years down the road, ITI Technical College, best in the state, top 15 in the country. Change your life in 1.5 to 2 years. Get that AOS degree, iticollege.edu.
Yeah, remember we tell you every single day they help you create your schedule, right? The class sizes are not some big packed auditorium. They're smaller, so attention to detail. They're going to help create whatever works for your time schedule. And remember, Friday's off. Go check it out, iticollege.edu.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Master Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge.
Moscona inviting you to join us for Tuesday's AFR, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Wes Johnson called leaving the Twins the toughest thing he's ever done. But what does it mean for LSU's pitchers? We'll talk about it Tuesday, 3 to 6. Join us, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Let's play ball, it's game day. We want strikeouts, base hits, double plays. Take the field, hear the roar of the crowd. Come on, Marlins, make us proud. Come on, Marlins, make us proud. Keep hoping and dreaming at you.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Esther and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
You say you will suck?
You will soar.
Oh.
Yeah. It's Marlins soar.
Strike swing.
But fish don't fly. That makes no sense.
Well,
Marlins like soar through the air. I think that's what he means. Like,
oh, okay.
Like soar
Yeah.
above water. Oh, like
do we
that,
know when this song was made? Shout out to the chat for putting this. I've heard about this through the years, but I don't know why. I've never actually looked it up.
After hearing it, you don't know why?
Well, yes. No, now I'm even more confused because it is so awesomely bad that I'm surprised that it never came across my radar fully before. But, like, I have so many questions. I never got Miami vibes from Scott Stapp. Is he a Miami native?
I know he's from Florida.
Okay.
Because Scott Stapp and Brock Berlin.
Had you recruited Brock Berlin to the Gators?
Former Evangel quarterback, grew up really good friends. So Scott Stapp once, when Creed was like Creed, I mean the height of Creed, he came to an Evangel game and was on the sidelines because apparently they were boys. I think it's Orlando he was from, though.
Damn.
The Orlando area is where they were best friends.
Well, there ain't no team in Orlando. So there you go. I really... Now, was this on a... I'm imagining this was on a World Series run. Like, what's funny about this is the Marlins, they got the 2 World Series, but they're also traditionally like one of the worst franchises kind of ever in any sport. So the idea that anybody would make a Marlins song, much less Scott Stapp, who's kind of a walking funny, like, probably internet punchline to begin with, is fantastic.
03?
Okay.
Not the 97, right? It would have been the 03.
Yeah. This all looks more like 03 as well. This doesn't look like 97.
Look, I have no problems with the Miami Marlins now, but just go back to your old logo and uniforms. I know it's a F for Florida Marlins. The teal was fantastic.
So
the song's 2010.
No.
Okay, this film looks like 2010. We just watched P. Willie film that looked like it was. Yes, this makes all the sense in the world.
It says 2010.
Oh my god.
Okay,
Sorry, I say we're
Marlins.
awful.
Marlins, what are you doing?
So I do actually have a little bit of insight into this. I know y'all clown me because I listen to Lebs a lot, but they have
Nobody,
a former.
Who clowned you for that?
Oh, I don't know. I thought y'all did. Maybe I'm just being.
We used to
defensive.
listen when he was on Baton Rouge every day. We talk about it.
But they talked to David Sampson, the former Marlins president, and I guess when ownership switched, the new owner was so insecure about the old ownership that he's the one that did the uniform thing.
Gotcha.
And they were all like, well, what the hell, dude? We grew up. Like, we have no connection with these new uniforms.
They're
Like,
terrible.
they mean nothing.
They're awful.
Yeah, they need to
I mean,
go
didn't
back.
Derek Jeter threw the deuces, I believe.
Yeah, I don't think that, yeah.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
I think Derek Jeter threw the deuces, but I also don't know if did Derek Jeter do a good job? You know more about baseball than I do.
No, I mean, they've been bad.
Yeah. GoTrosOutdoorPower.com. GoTrosOutdoorPower.com. You know who's not bad? GoTros. Family-owned, local business. Hit the like button. Family-owned, local business. Free delivery anywhere in the state when you buy some of that heavy landscaping equipment from GoTros. Look, man, if you need that Hustler dealer, go to Louisiana's largest Hustler dealer. I'm going to say Hustler Equipment. That's on me. And when you buy full access to the parts and service departments, GoTros Outdoor Power. I agree. Scott Knight says the song being 2010 makes me so happy I can't stop. It does add. It makes it so much better.
Yeah. GoTro's been doing it way before 2010, T-Bob. They'll deliver anywhere in the state of Louisiana. Hustler Equipment, commercial, residential, zero turns, power equipment available too. Remember, 2 locations, Baton Rouge, Gonzales, locally, GoTrosOutdoorPower.com, where we make it easy.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
There's nothing better than tailgating, but it can be a lot of work. So why do it yourself when you don't have to? Let Revelry Sports and Entertainment set up your luxury tailgate on campus. Order what you want and just show up to party. Book your tailgate today at revelryteam.com. Revelry Sports, the official tailgate partner of LSU Athletics.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
My own people call me an Uncle Tom. I play music. Been wined and dined by royalty. Trying to bring people together. All people. But regardless of all that kind of stuff, I'm still Louis Armstrong.
Here's the man you're waiting for, the king of jazz, Louis Armstrong.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast office products.
Good morning. It's 9 a.m. on Tuesday, June 28th. Your government taco forecast today in Baton Rouge. Expect cloudy skies with a high of 91. Government taco, where our pickled onions always make a taco wet. Coming up on OTB, Ross Jackson of the Locked On Saints podcast joins the show at 9:15. You can follow today's show on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at OTB_ESPN or watch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel. OTBOT, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, starts now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, they said I gotta come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo, yo, yo.
Hello, everybody, and welcome in to hour number 3 of OTB. If you're watching on youtube.com/1045ESPN, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Please, the algorithmic gods that rule our every existence. We're going to talk to Ross Jackson coming up here in about 15 minutes about this New Orleans team, the offseason. I just love Ross. He does great work. And Nick is in Paris today. So, we're talking to Ross from Locked On Saints, who I think they just won second best Saints podcast. I can't remember who was handing out the awards. But yeah, Ross, I mean, if you've heard him, he does fantastic work. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking at y'all's 80s movie tier list from Friday. I'm much more pleased with the science that went down while I was gone. I feel like this is legit science here. As soon as I see Hans Gruber on the top, that pleases me so greatly. It's tough to really let you know just how happy it makes me. I'm guessing that T2 was in the 90s, right? Is T2 92? It's the only reason why we don't see the shapeshifter on there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like you had to start, like it had to be defined in the 80s. You couldn't be like a 70s introduction.
Which is why Vader's not
Vader's not in, because he's like the ultimate villain, right? So yes, that was the criteria.
I mean, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, I know y'all called me for some input, and if anybody's upset about Boba Fett being in the D, look, Boba Fett's cool. The armor is cool. The toy was even cooler. But he did not really do anything on screen.
If it was video game villains,
yes, he'd be up there. That fight on N64 and Empire, Shadows of the Empire was so sick. Where you fight him in like that little.
The toughest call was, do we go Ivan Drago in S or Johnny Lawrence in S? But Johnny Lawrence has kind of come full circle. I mean,
he's not a villain.
Daniel
anymore,
LaRusso
right?
might have actually been the villain in the movie.
Yeah, I still never
battle with that.
Cobra Kai, but that's such a fascinating concept that on an 80s movie villain tier list that you have to question whether or not a guy is an actual villain because of a television show
because of what we know now
30 years later.
That's right.
It is in the streaming tier.
Honestly, on the tier list, I mean Chet from Weird Science. I mean, great character. I thought maybe even A material. Skeletor got a shout out. The movie Skeletor, not the cartoon.
I've never seen the He-Man movie.
Dolph Lundgren is He-Man. It's fantastic. Fantastically Bad, which is awesome.
Who is this guy? Is he from the Fly? What's he from?
Roger Rabbit.
Oh, I've never seen Roger Rabbit, dude. I thought about watching the other day. I watched 2 classics recently. I watched American Graffiti, which is George Lucas's first movie. It's in the It's from '73, but it's set in the 50s. It's basically set in Lucas's childhood, and it's such a fascinating look into a different time, a different culture where he grew up in California in a very car-centric culture.
Right.
And like it's a classic coming-of-age story, right? Last night before college, what are these high school kids up to? And it's so funny because There's no cell phones or anything, and they're just all cruising. That's what they used to call it, cruising. They're just cruising down the main strip in their cars, talking car to car. Everybody's hopping each other's cars. And it's funny because Lucas, of course, goes on to do Star Wars, and you can see like his love of like the Millennium Falcon and having Han Solo up there like tinkering on it, and it's kind of rusted out look. That all comes from his love of cars and tinkering on cars, and you can see the beginnings of Han Solo in the character. I can't remember his name in American Graffiti. That is the guy that races cars. Also, you will get a supremely young Harrison Ford in there. It is. I think it's Harrison Ford's first movie. It's probably in his late 20s. So American Graffiti was awesome. And then for no other reason, they both had American in the title. I watched American Splendor. You ever seen that? 2003 movie about Harvey Keitel, an old comic book writer. A fascinatingly structured movie. It's very meta. As Keitel, real life himself, Harvey is narrating the picture as Paul Giamatti plays him, and it kind of floats in and out. It's a really good movie. It's a really good movie. A little arty, so I don't know if it's for everybody, but a very good movie nonetheless. But no, I'm proud of y'all, dude. I feel like this is a very, very good tier list. And I you know what? I watched Bloodsport recently, and I thought it was like pretty good. I didn't love it. I was worried that you were going to bump up Massive Pecs dude higher than he deserved. And he's good. He's good, and he has the biggest pecs I've ever seen on screen
in my life.
But C is where he belongs.
That's where he belongs.
Yeah.
That's where he belongs. Now,
it's a great
like,
list, boys.
like Flash Gordon, like me from Flash Gordon, like I love Flash Gordon, but I realize it's a little bit of a deep cut.
Yes.
So, I wanted him to be represented on the list because always remember in the science, D doesn't mean you're awful. It just means that's your place on this tier list.
Yeah, you're on the list.
Yeah.
I mean, right? That's
we got Brad Wesley from Roadhouse. Obviously, we got the sheriff from First Blood. So, I mean, we wanted them to be represented.
All right. So coming up on this hour of OTB, sorry, there's a little distraction there as I realized that I never actually saw it. I missed it over the weekend. A few things that we can get to real quick here. There's a cryptic tweet from Marquez Callaway last night. Now, our resident Marquez Callaway stan, Mario Jerez, sent this to the group this morning at about 5 a.m. Obviously, Mario's very stressed out, losing sleep over this. Last night, it looks like last night was the 28th. Or no, today's the 28th, right? Yeah, exactly. So at 2:18 a.m., Marquez Callaway tweeted, "You can't do this to me, bro, ... That tweet has since been deleted. Now, Mario, I've looked at the situation, and I don't think you have anything to fear here. Jake, and you can help me out here because you know better than I would, but 2:18 a.m. does not feel like you are tweeting about a roster transaction, right? I mean, maybe you're up late in your fields and something's gone wrong in the field and it's upsetting you, but much more likely is that, this probably has something to do with a personal life, I would say. And there's a chance you're a little deep in your cups at 2:18 a.m. if you're tweeting. I mean, agree, Jake, or what do you think? Do you think this could be football related?
No, I wouldn't think so. And plus, you're not doing anything football activity-wise right now anyways. Every coach is somewhere else. Like, no coach is in the city or exec. I mean, they're all on vacation. They turn it off. College, pro, I mean, they're on. I was with a ton of coaches down in Fairhope for the Senior Bowl deal. Like, they're on vacation. So I wouldn't think it's going to be one of those situations. Like you said, maybe it's late in the night. Maybe you're deep in the cup. Maybe you're whatever. You get in your feels. We've all been there. I've tweeted out stuff, put on Facebook, whatever stuff, and it's like coded, cryptid, like, subtweeting, which you've done to me before, T-Bob.
Yes,
like,
I subtweeted, to go back to how we opened the show. I subtweeted you and Moscona when I overheard y'all trying to out-hardo each other for not taking vacation.
Overheard? You were like sitting in the room. We were all talking together.
That's fair. So that's not really an overhear. I was actively in the room, and I was talking about how I take all my vacation, and and then I subtweeted about not liking people who try to out-hardo vacation usage. So I too have subtweeted. This is true.
Yes, we've all done it.
It's entirely possible somebody just ate Marquez's leftovers and he saw it 2 in the morning, and it was devastating.
I doubt he has a roommate though.
Maybe like family staying with him or something.
You'd be surprised.
Really?
You'd be I mean, this is 10 years ago. You'd be surprised how many young players and certainly like UDFAs that end up making it, or if you have a cheap first round pick, looking at you, Antoine Cason. They have roommates. They have roommates.
Okay,
I mean, like
I can see that.
Like 3 of them live in like a very, very nice condo apartment complex, but they live together. Yeah, that's definitely the guys that don't have families.
Bobby Hotep says, really? No Fratellis from Goonies? No, there's Fratelli on that
There
list.
was.
Go check
Oh,
it
yeah,
again.
there was.
Go
There
check
was.
it again.
I know.
There's Fratelli,
Sorry.
accurately
No.
ranked.
No horror movie villains because that's like its own category.
It's its own category.
So no Freddy, no Jason, no.
Yeah.
You know.
No.
Right there. Right there in the sea.
Horror movie villains are the stars of the movie, right? I mean, these are villains that are going against
That's some good people. I mean, Lost Boys. I mean, MC. I mean,
Is it Kiefer
Revenge of the
Sutherland?
Nerds. I mean, and
Look at Kiefer Sutherland's blonde hair.
Say
dude.
Kiefer.
Hey, okay. God, now you brought the list back up real quick. Who's the Bill Paxton character? Why am I blanking right now?
Jet, Weird Science.
Okay. I've never seen Weird Science past the opening scene, and I was just so obsessed with the
I
opening scene because
know
they made a pretty lady.
I
in
know
the
we're
shower,
not. We're
and it
not.
just stuck with
We're
me.
not that far, like age-wise. Like we played college football together, so we're not like 10 years apart. But there is a big gap, and maybe. Well, you have older siblings too.
Yeah, but they weren't watching Weird Science.
Okay, so like I have an older brother who's 2 years older than me, so like he was, all these 80s movies are because of my brother Adam. And who we actually called, we called in studio. He was like phone a friend for this movie tier list, and he
Okay.
was helping us with some science.
Danny, could you bring up this Sky Cruise video in there? Have you seen this, Jake? The Sky Cruise? It's a concept for a nuclear-powered sky hotel. I got to give Hunt Palmer a shout-out here. I'm sure they actually talked about it on Hunt and Hill yesterday. I was over on the sales side of the building talking to some people yesterday, and I saw on Hunt's computer, he was watching, I was like, what is that? This is a concept for a nuclear-powered sky hotel with 20 electric engines housing over 5,000 guests in nearly non-stop flight. So
to where?
I guess that's kind of the question.
Nowhere.
It's kind of
It's flying.
nowhere. Like you're not.
Are you just
flying.
like circling the
Yes,
Earth?
I mean essentially yes. That is the concept. Like you never land, and you're just. It's like I guess it's like well, but even on a cruise, you stop at places. So maybe you go like air cruise route, and you end up stopping to places. But
Y'all
no,
tell me how it is first.
just constantly in the sky.
Bruh, I am. Look, that looks heavy. There's
look
people
heavy.
that are much smarter than any of us here. Obviously, general studies, but that thing in the sky looks like it could fall at any moment. I mean, it looks like you got a football stadium in the air.
So I will say this.
I
I mean,
mean,
it is like, I mean, look at it next. If you go back to the very beginning of the video, and they're showing like the gym and all the luxury amenities, they're basically trying to make like a Titanic of the sky, right?
Yeah.
But if you go back to the beginning, Danny, look at it compared to the 737 or 747s, whatever that is on the runway, and it is kind of mind blowing. Like, look at how small.
Oh my god!
And those are big boys. So this thing's big.
Okay, yeah, nope. Yep.
But the thing is, boys, think about this. When it comes to planes, generally the bigger the safer. Am I wrong here?
Okay, that's another fair point.
Yeah,
That's a fair point.
true.
Where are you
That's a
getting
fair
that
point.
conclusion from? How does bigger?
No, there are way
Well, I mean,
more.
like you've never been on like a small private plane or anything like 4,
No,
6-seater,
just
8-seater?
commercial.
Oh
There
yeah,
are-
those
there
things.
are-
Those things. If the wind blows, you're like, oh boy,
Yeah.
you
It's,
clench
think,
up.
think- think about it. Think about it, because a lot of times, aerodynamics reenact liquid dynamics, right?
Yeah.
And so think about a small boat versus a big boat. What are waves going to do against a small boat? You're going to really feel that thing. It's going to rock it. It's going to throw it around. Same thing when you're in the sky. If you got this giant shipping container boat that's massive, it can cruise through pretty much anything.
Right.
Like, and that's what I guess this would be.
It's still a hard no for me.
It's a
but-
hard no just because what you said. I want to go somewhere. I don't want to hang out just in the sky.
Yeah. No, I mean, no. I mean, I don't really like flying. Does anybody like flying? I mean,
No.
You get a couple hours by yourself, and the older you get, T-Bob and I probably appreciate that more. But
Yes,
I'll
even though-
do that on. I could rather do it on a cruise ship.
Interestingly, I was telling Danny yesterday, so I unlocked a new dad achievement. I flew solo with my 2 daughters back from New York, a night flight as well. I had a little challenge mix. It was great. It was awesome, super chill, no complaints whatsoever. On the way up there, I flew solo, which is generally a very relaxing experience. I don't know what happened. I had the most real panic attack of my entire life, Jake, to the point where for the first 45 minutes of the flight, I was sitting there. I probably freaked out everybody around me because I was sitting, and like every instinct in my body, every fiber was telling me to get off the plane. Like get off, and I was like, you can't. You're meeting with your family. Like, you have to stay on here. And so I'm sitting there and I'm grabbing
And once
an
you got that in
Indian
your
burning my
mind,
wrist.
yeah.
I'm feeling like my heart's about to explode. For the first 45 minutes, I was doing this, eyes closed, looking supremely uncomfortable. I was freaking out. Everybody around me, which was causing me to freak out more. My heart was pounding. I had a real fight or flight response. Like, it was insane. It was adrenaline. And then finally, after about an hour, it stopped, and my entire body felt like Jell-O. It just released. So it was this odd situation where something about being solo, I don't know what happened, versus having kids to take care of. I had like something on my mind that I had to do that was bigger than me. And so I've had what I would describe as panic or anxiety attacks, I think, in the past. Never to that extent and never in that situation. That was truly awful. But
sounds awful.
Yeah, it was wild. But yeah, ironically, flying with the kids was actually a much better experience. After that, we got some beers.
Just don't tell Caitlin, who probably flew with the children by herself, that you had a panic attack when you were by yourself.
No, I did. I told her. I told her before the flight. But yeah, look, there might have been some things.
I know Caitlin pretty well now. I can imagine what she said.
There could or could not have been some things that were, consumed that may have pushed to the edge there. But whew, that was a scary feeling. Craziness. All right, when we get back here, and Citizen's Big Poll question of the day, would you fly in a nuclear-powered Sky Hotel? And when we get back here, let's talk to our guy Ross Jackson of the Locked On Saints podcast here on OTB.
OTB, OT. In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
It's no secret, the best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343.
For a Tuesday edition of Hunt and Hill, AJ Nola, dad to Austin and Aaron, will jump aboard, and we'll talk with Shay Dixon as well. Hunt and Hill, noon to 2 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
I remember when I lost my mind. There was something so pleasant about that place. Even your emotions have an echo in so much space.
OTB OT with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
Welcome back, y'all. Right now, it is my pleasure to talk to the host of the Locked On Saints podcast. He's so damn good. We really love sitting down with him and Maddie when we were at, what was that, Senior Bowl?
Yeah.
And then, well, whatever. It's always great to get to see him in person. We need to start having him on the show more, and so this will be the first step in doing that. But that is Mr. Ross Jackson. Ross, what's up, dude? What's going on, man? Thanks for waking up with us today.
Oh, man. What's up, fellas? It's an absolute pleasure to be up with you this morning. Thanks so much for having me on, guys. Good to speak with you.
Yes, and I say waking up because, Ross, you're still on the West Coast, right? I mean, so you are making the sacrifice to come on here 2 hours later.
Well, as much as I would love to talk great about myself and say, yes, I am waking up earlier to be with you guys, I am actually in New Orleans, permanently relocated.
Okay, you did relocate.
So I'm here with y'all on Central Time, the best time zone there ever was.
That's right.
Maybe you should have told me that, Ross, because now I'm going to be a lot more freewheeling with the earlier times. For sure.
I'm
Ross,
going to be getting those phone calls. Hey, can you come up to the studio?
He will. There's no question.
At Ross Jackson Nola on Twitter. Been killing it on the Locked On Saints podcast for a while now. Also does great work with Locked On overall. Ross, congratulations to y'all as well. Named, what was it, the number 2 Saints podcast on the streets? Hell yeah.
Yeah. Number 2 sports podcast in Louisiana by the Louisiana Sports Writers Association. Really, really grateful to have that honor to even be considered at that place. I mean, you're talking about a dude that just decided to pick up a microphone one day. So it's pretty cool to have that kind of recognition. It's really exciting.
Okay, dude, wait, before we get into Saints then, because relocating from California to New Orleans, that's a big deal, dude. When did this go down? How's it been going? Like, what's that transition been like?
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, I'm born and raised from here, so it's like being back home.
Okay.
For me and everything. And with the more intimate coverage I'm able to do now, with the New Orleans Saints and of the New Orleans Saints and everything, it was just made a lot of sense to be back down here. There was opportunities for us to be able to get that done and make it happen. And so, I was grateful to be able to do it. Where I'm about, a week in at this point and all. And so, it's fresh. It's real fresh. So I'm excited to be back home.
Hell yes, man. Congrats to you. Congrats to the pod doing excellent work. And we're trying to break into the top 10 of our own Barrett's list. So I feel you. The dub is coming next year, bro. Don't worry.
There you go.
It's all
I
a climb.
appreciate that.
Hey, okay, let's get down to some Saints talk then. It's been a little bit of a slow news cycle, but there is one piece that we mentioned yesterday that I believe is a big deal. And for Saints fans, and that is the DeMario Davis extension. What do you know about the extension? I'm a little hazy on the details in terms of how much money it is and when it is actually through. Can you give us some details on DeMario Davis extension?
Yeah, for sure. This contract extension surprisingly actually has no impact on the 2022 season, which is very un-New Orleans Saints-like.
Yeah.
Usually if they end up doing a contract extension, whatever year that player is in usually is impacted. Most of the time it drops in terms of cap hit. For this one, cap hit's already pretty low. They had already restructured his contract and everything during the offseason, so there wasn't really much wiggle room to get anything additionally done in 2022, and they're not in a situation to where they're up against the salary cap. They've got like $10 million or so available. So with that being the case, they didn't have to do a lot here. But next year, you see a little bit of a drop in base salary, not by much. They converted about, $250,000 to a workout bonus. That's really the only big adjustment there. But they have added incentives for this year, next year, and the last year, $2 million in incentives. So he gets some performance boost depending upon either how he performs or how he performs in concert with the team. We'll see what those actual details are when they become public. But the biggest takeaway from this contract is that Demario Davis is a New Orleans Saint through 2024 now, as opposed to just 2022 and 2023 when his contract would have expired. So we had heard some reports that he, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, as well as Deontay Hardy were all looking for some level of contract extension. We figured a 1 or 2 year deal for Demario, or 1 or 2 year extension beyond 2023 for Demario Davis would make the most sense. That's what he ends up getting. And I think that it speaks highly to the organization that they got his contract extension done first. He's the veteran. He's the leader. He's probably the second best free agency signing in New Orleans Saints franchise history. He really helped to revitalize everything around defense starting in 2018 when he showed up. So I think getting his contract done as a veteran leader makes a lot of sense, and it was a good move by the organization.
All right, Ross, where I want to start is picking up from our last conversation that we did have at the Senior Bowl there in January, because we were talking about positions that the Saints had to get better at. The receiver position, the defensive backfield was certainly a question mark. Obviously, tackle was a question. But let's talk about receiver and DB. Now that we know the moves, fast forward, here we are in the summertime. What do you think about the moves they made? Did they answer those questions that we had there in Mobile at the Senior Bowl?
Yeah, I think unequivocally you have to say yes for both of those, right? When we talk about defensive backfield and the secondary, that was with the anticipation of losing Marcus Williams. Right. Not only did they lose Marcus Williams, but then they also had Malcolm Jenkins retire over the course of the offseason as well. So having to replace an entire back of your backcourt effectively with having to replace both safeties, that's a tall task. But then you bring in a guy like Marcus May, who is the one player that ranked above Marcus Williams in forcing completion percentage since 2017. He was number 1 in that metric with Marcus Williams at number 2. So you end up getting another guy that has the ability to be a ball hawk, but also is somebody that has the ability to be an enforcer in the middle, because Robert Saleh kind of changed his scheme, changed the way that he used Marcus May in his scheme, using him a little bit more as a box safety. So you get massive versatility there. Then you bring in Tyrann Mathieu, who we have seen from St. Augustine days all the way till now as a guy that is the definition of versatility, right? So you have now these players that are so multiple, which is something that Dennis Allen, of course, has always appreciated in defenders, particularly in the secondary. So I think those two guys, you increase your competition a little bit with Alontae Taylor, and then all of a sudden I think you've answered the questions over in a defensive backfield. And in wide receiver, of course, you've gotten much better there with the return of Michael Thomas, drafting Chris Olave and adding Jarvis Landry. You've completely revamped that room.
Yeah, and so all of a sudden, it all becomes very exciting, doesn't it? I mean, we just kind of mentioned earlier in the show, like, where does this season kind of rank in terms of your preseason excitement? And it's not to say that, look, I don't think this is the best team that we've seen in recent years. Certainly not, right? We've entered multiple seasons where the New Orleans Saints have been thought of as legitimate Super Bowl contenders. But, Ross, in terms of just like interest and, the unknown a lot of times is inherently exciting. And so adding Jarvis, adding Tyrann, like you said, and adding all of these pieces where, absolutely, where the one piece that'll make it all go is Jameis Winston, and you've got a new head coach. Like, I am fascinated. Where does this rank for you in terms of interest and excitement, like what this season is as maybe compared to some of the recent era of Saints football?
Yeah, and I think, I have a little bit of a different perspective on it, maybe, or not a different perspective, but it's a unique perspective for me because I'm still young in the sports coverage game and the sports media game. And so for me, the thing that's so different than maybe my past days looking at this team more as a fan, I think that the thing that is so interesting about this is that there's a lot of excitement based on, just as you mentioned, the unknown. There's a lot of question marks that you're not used to seeing, right? We're talking about a quarterback in head coach connection, which is something we've not had to question in New Orleans since 2006. You've had no question marks around the relationship between those two positions for over 15 years or over a decade, and with the exception of 2012. Yeah. And so I think that when you look at where the Saints are right now, it's not that there's a need for caution or that there's a need for, concern around that connection. There's just intrigue there now, which is the most important connection for an NFL team's, success is the connection between the quarterback and the head coach. And I think that now as you have sort of seen Dennis Allen step into that head coach role, pretty quickly mentioning that Taysom Hill is out of the conversation in terms of competing at quarterback. Doesn't mean he won't take quarterback snaps, but that he's out of that competition. And then basically making sure that everybody knows that this is Jameis Winston's team, building weapons around him, bringing in Jarvis Landry, drafting, moving up to draft Chris Olave, making sure you're getting him at 11. And then doing all the things that you have to do to make sure that the offense is where it needs to be. The connection and the trust between the two of them already looks like it's starting off strong, which is good news. Now, the next piece is going to be the offensive coordinator. How do things change with Pete Carmichael, who is absolutely one of the original architects of the New Orleans Saints offense as we know it, has this high-flying passing attack, this high-octane offense. He's one of the architects of that since he joined, later on, a couple of years down Sean Payton's tenure into that offensive coordinator role. And so I think that there's a lot of reasons to be excited here. And it's some of the most excited I've been to cover this team, just because there is all of that intrigue. There are those question marks. There are those things to look out for that if they all go right, it makes for a very exciting 2022. And if one thing kind of goes out of lockstep, it doesn't mean the end because of how well this team is constructed and built top to bottom throughout its roster. So it's going to be an exciting 2022, but it still leaves you with those question marks that could impact you 2023 and 2024.
Yeah, and Ross, I love the roster. I mean, you sit here and you take a look at
roster.
It.
I get it.
What?
The roster?
Roster.
Oh.
I thought that was a joke. My bad. Okay, I just completely ruined all of this. I just threw a wrench into everything, and I crashed the vehicle into a wall. I apologize.
Well,
just back it up, skip back like you're listening to a podcast. Skip back 30 seconds.
No.
Okay, start your question again, Jake.
Ross, this is what I have to deal with every day. I need you to drive up from New Orleans now so you can help me in this endeavor to talk Saints football. It's
roster.
Fun. It's there. I mean,
maybe
there's a segment. What's the roster?
Okay, yeah.
Or something. We'll ballpark it. Okay.
State of the roster.
Exactly. There you go. There it is.
Workshop.
So you've already got it. Running back. Okay. We don't know how long AK is going to be out. If it is 6 games, look, Mark Ingram has been a fantastic pro. I mean, I think we can all say he's been a pro's pro. He has really been a guy you can count on, but he's 32 years old. We know the running back position, when you're 32, you're basically 40, okay? So you have Mark Ingram, and he can take some carries, but I don't know if he can have the full workload. You look at Tony Jones behind him, Dwayne Washington behind him. Now you've got some, undrafted free agent from Baylor that a lot of us are excited about. But does that make you nervous? If AK's out 6 games, Mark Ingram's going to be the lead back, and you've got a lot of unproven guys behind Mark Ingram.
I think I'll take a guy that knows the system over a guy that has the ability to be a bit flashier.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that, when you look at replacing Alvin Kamara, it's not just going to be a one-for-one situation, right? Alvin Kamara is going to get a heft of the snaps during a game, and if Alvin Kamara is out for that game or misses that game, or however this whole suspension situation ends up working out, it's not going to be Mark Ingram's going to take 70% of the snaps. It's probably more realistically going to be Mark Ingram taking 40% of the snaps, Tony Jones Jr. taking 40% of the snaps, and then another back kind of rising up and taking 20% of the snaps. And so the committee replaces Alvin Kamara more than a player replaces Alvin Kamara in the committee. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so I think that becomes the piece. Now, I think that, look, if Alvin Kamara ends up suspended, there are going to be a lot of options that are going to become available during the preseason when they're doing preseason cuts. You can look and maybe throw a dart when it comes to the Baltimore Ravens backfield. Huh. And some of those guys are going to end up cutting, right? A guy like Zach Moss may not have room in Buffalo anymore. So there are places that the Saints can go later on down the line. And there's also some familiar faces that are already out there that, again, know the system. Devontae Freeman, who spent last year's offseason with the Saints. Latavius Murray is available. So there are some other options that they can go to. They tried with Sony Michel. They brought in David Johnson for a visit, which, by the way, just because they didn't sign him during minicamp doesn't mean that they won't look at him again during training camp and try to get a longer look at him.
I did that with the Saints. I went to minicamp with the Saints. It was a workout, and then right before camp, they called me and offered me a contract. So, yeah, it doesn't have to work out. I mean, they can take a look at what's out there, go back, watch the tape, say, okay, this is the best option for us, and we're going to offer you a contract.
Exactly. And you don't get, a full breadth of what a player has to offer in 3 days at a minicamp, right?
Right.
It's going to take some time to take a look at, what all they have to offer. So I think the Saints are in a situation where, they're clearly not panicking, because otherwise they would have made the money for David Johnson work immediately. They would have tried to make whatever didn't work with Sony Michel work. I don't know if it was a physical thing or if it was anything like that, but they're not in a situation where they're panicking, and I think that that's a good move by the Saints, because they kind of need to see how all of this is going to pan out. Like the legal process for Alvin Kamara is still very early at this point. Like we haven't even gotten to a hearing until August. And that has been continued twice. So we'll see exactly what happens there. But I'm not super worried about the position being led by Mark Ingram, because he knows the system. He knows how to make everything work. He knows, he's a fantastic pass protector as well. So he gives you all the qualities that you still want there, but you're probably just going to see a little bit more of a rotation. It'll be interesting to see who's third in that rotation. Can a guy like Abram Smith, come out from that 1,600-yard, 12 rushing touchdown season that he had at Baylor, his lone year as a running back, because he was stuck playing linebacker the 2 years before that. But does the linebacker portion of his experience give him a leg up on special teams over a guy like Dwayne Washington, which earns him a roster spot and gets him snaps on offense? That'll be the sort of tricky dynamic to watch.
I mean, dude, I could talk to you all day, Ross. We're up against the clock here. Just excellent work. Locked on Saints podcast. Congrats on the move, man. The 504 is better for it to have you back home. Very excited, too. I mean, think about it. Working from California, you created the #2 Saints podcast. I mean, what's going to happen now when you're back in the city? Ross Jackson Nola on Twitter. Ross, thank you so much, man.
Hey, always a pleasure, guys. I appreciate you. Y'all stay safe. I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks,
All
Ross.
right, take it easy. Yep, sorry about, throwing the car wreck into the middle of that interview. That was that joke, but sometimes, I'm just an instinctual man.
Yeah, after you told that joke, I went to hit the dang it Bobby button, and I inadvertently spilled my coffee all over myself. So your fault for that, too.
So it literally was a car wreck. Like drinks spilling everywhere, awkward forced laughs from Ross, Jake having to restart the question. Just an absolute disaster of a joke.
Steve, I don't even get mad at you for that, because I know you can't help it.
It's impulse.
You can't. Whenever T, you'll say something, he gets on his tiptoes.
Oh, you can see me getting excited.
He gets on his tiptoes, and that little bitty finger of his gets going, and he's like,
Roster.
I understand. You can't help it. It's in you.
Bargain. I cannot wait. I mean, when the 50, let's be clear. It's already up in New Orleans on football right now. 53-man projections are coming. Yeah. Okay? It is 53 season.
Yeah, I saw one on ESPN.com, and there's going to be some tough cuts for the Saints roster. The guys names guys that have made plays in black and gold.
It's roster season. Okay?
I like it.
It's time,
boys. I
boys.
think that should be like our summer segment with him.
Out.
I'm not mad at you.
Even though I find that in actual radio talk, there's nothing more unexciting than 53-man roster projections.
Ooh, I don't know.
When you have to be a real
roster,
degenerate to get hyped
I don't
about,
know. When you have a good roster, it's a different conversation. When you're like, oh, man, can we find 53 guys to fill this roster? It's a different conversation.
That is fair, and I think the Saints have a pretty good roster.
It's like watching Major League the movie, and they're trying to find guys. They got to get Roger Dorn and Jake Taylor down from Mexico. He's like, damn it, Tolbert, at least you could have said you're from the Yankees. I mean, it's better than that.
It is better. Yes, the Saints are better than Major League. That is fair. Okay, when we get back here, more OTB. I guess we'll talk about this Kyrie tweet, which cracks me up. More OTB next.
OTB, OT.
Go to All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com, All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com. Go there today for all of your new and used vehicles. Or if you want to rent. If you're looking to sell, they want to buy. Okay, and you're not going to get a better deal than you will now in terms of maximizing your resale value. So you sell it, you want that new 22 Tuzina, whatever you want. It's all there for you at All-Star Toyota. Go to the website, allstartoyotabatonrouge.com. You can chat with people live if you want. You can also kind of start to check out the deals. You can custom order cars right there from the website, so that's where your journey can begin. Or you just go in and talk to the excellent employees. I love them. I'm a member of the family twice now. All-Star Toyota.
Yeah, you're a member twice. I'm a member twice, but you are from buying and leasing. I'm from leasing and renting. So a lot of different options over at All-Star. No matter what you're looking for, the full fleet is available in all the processes that we tell you about every single day, and that is just not the case everywhere else. So no matter what it is, buying, leasing, and renting, they've got you covered. It's right there on the homepage of the website, All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
And this year, 2022, it's time to finally treat yourself. Bring your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service. You want the latest and greatest marine technology? You want to go to the place that has not one, but two NMEA-certified techs. Family-owned and operated by the Sherman family for 30 years, front-to-back is the answer in Baton Rouge for all of your custom boat needs. So head to fronttobackboatservice.com or find them on Facebook, Front to Back Boat Service.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
My own people call me an Uncle Tom. I play music. Been wined and dined by royalty. Trying to bring people together. All people. But regardless of all that kind of stuff, I'm still Louis Armstrong.
Here's the man you're waiting for, the king of jazz, Louis Armstrong.
Are you a licensed contractor?
For a Tuesday edition of Early Line, as Jeremy Hill fills in for a vacationing Musso once again, and we go out to Las Vegas to talk to Rafael Esparza of MyBookie.ag. Join us 2 to 3 p.m. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB OT with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
What's happening, y'all? Welcome back to OTB. T-Bob, Jake, Mari, Danny, and our guy Jack Collada hanging out here, Boot Crew Media. Pleased to have Jack here in the studio. We're going to do a quick here because I do want to get a little more time with Ask the Bench today.
Look at you.
Yeah, I know.
Tell you what.
What are you going to do?
That clock management's really starting to come around.
Yeah, not really, but.
No, not at all. We're going to go to like 51 and we're going to have like 30 seconds.
No. Relax. I will say this, Jake. Have you put together any DraftKings packages for me yet?
I'm trying to. So I told you I'm going to have to wait till after the show because I was doing it during the show and then you were talking about something and I was over here trying to create you a 3-teamer I'll wait till after the show. The Pittsburgh Pirates, though, will probably be involved somehow.
Okay, cool. So, look, if you want to gamble and have fun like we do, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Look, you download it right now. Remember, DraftKings is an official sports betting partner of the UFC. The new deal, now that hockey is over, you download DraftKings, promo code Baton Rouge, all one word. Bet $5 on any fighter and get $100 in free bets. Win or lose, you don't have to win the bet, okay? Promo code Baton Rouge, $5 on a fighter, $100 in free bets, which you can go do with, use with same game parlays. You can use it on the other side of DraftKings with the daily fantasy app. So check it out now. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Remember, you got to be 21 or older, physically present in Louisiana. Availability varies by parish. Eligibility restrictions apply. Minimum $5 deposit. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for full terms and conditions. Licensee partner, Golden Nugget Lake Charles. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-770-STOP. So Shams Sharanya. I don't know why I'm like panicking on his name.
I honestly don't know how to pronounce it either.
I believe the first name is Shams.
I think it's Canaraya, actually. I think it's pronounced Canaraya.
You just threw me a curveball that I was not at all prepared for. I have never heard that before in my life.
Here's what you do, because I am the worst with names. You say it real fast and real redneck, and you're okay.
That's like when I'm not sure if it's somebody's name that I'm talking to. I'm like, hey, Peter, Peter. And if he turns around, you're good. Or if it's like a Brad or a Chad thing, like Ed. Hey, what's up, dude? What's going on, man? Good to see you, bro.
My dad used to always, if he didn't know somebody, it was, hey, what's going on, Easy Money? Always Easy Money. And I'm like, oh, Dad doesn't know him.
Dude.
Easy Money.
I'm a big bro.
What's up, Easy Money?
So Kyrie Irving, according to Shams, is opting in to his $37 million player option. So it looks like, well, it's not over yet. It looks like he is planning on staying with the Brooklyn Nets. I know you don't care about that. What I do think is funny is the quote, normal people keep the world, this is from Kyrie Irving, quote, normal people keep the world going, but those who dare to be different lead us into tomorrow. I've made my decision to opt in. See you in the fall. All 1-1 even. I don't know how to pronounce that. But the best part about this is Kyrie is so twisted in his brain that he thinks that opting into a $37 million deal is like, it's like weird or like not normal.
Right.
No, like I'm going through the past less traveled, accepting $37 million while I've only played in like 50% of the games over the last 2 years. Unbelievable.
Yeah,
this dude's hubris is insane.
I can't figure him out. He's a hard read. He's a very, very hard read. Anytime you think you have him figured out, again, like I'm not throwing shade at him. I cannot figure him out. I don't know who he is. I don't know his personality. He's a little bit, all over the place. There's just a lot. He's a lot.
He's a cancer, dude. He's a cancer. And what? Yeah, he's whatever. I'm just glad that he's nowhere near my basketball team. Like Kyrie, though, I said one thing and just did what I always do, as we're not going to have that much time. But let's go to break. When we get back, we'll ask the bench.
OTB, OT.
Go to airflownow.com, and get that Tiger Air insert. Okay? If you run a construction company or you run a plant, right? Anywhere where your employees have to wear hard hats. In this Louisiana heat, that can be debilitating. It can make you physically tired, which leads to mental mistakes and physical mistakes, which on those work sites is a safety issue. So go to airflownow.com, treat your employees the way they deserve, and buy them this Tiger Air insert. It slips right in the top of the hard hat. You turn it on, and your body becomes a walking AC unit for 8 hours, y'all.
I mean, just listen to it. Right? I mean, this thing packs a punch, 3.5 ounces. I've got the charger right here. I mean, it's a USB. You can plug it into your laptop or wall charger, whatever it might be. And when you charge it only takes 2 hours, but you get 8 hours of runtime. So go check this thing out. Also waterproof. Waterproof. It meets all the standards. We tell you that every single day. You can find more information on their website, airflownow.com, airflownow.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli? I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
If home is where the heart is, a roof is a shield. That's why for over 25 years, South Louisiana always turns to Garcia Roofing and Sheet Metal. For more information,
Moscona inviting you to join us for Tuesday's AFR, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Wes Johnson called leaving the Twins the toughest thing he's ever done. But what does it mean for LSU's pitchers? We'll talk about it Tuesday, 3 to 6. Join us, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Miami, South Beach, bringing the heat, Can y'all feel that? Can y'all feel that? Jig it out, Here I am in the place where I come let go in Miami.
OTB OT with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
I don't know why high-ups always made me laugh so hard. Hi-yup. Welcome back to OTB. It's time for a little Ask the Bench, brought to you by Cold Coors Light, Busy Hard Seltzer, and Blue Moon Light Sky Citrus Sweet.
Can I tell a real quick story? So we're at the bar there at the Hall of Fame thing, and everybody's getting like, nice drinks, whatever. And I get a Cold Coors Light because that's what I drink.
Yeah.
And like nobody else like was drinking beer at this event, like almost like they didn't know they had it. I walk around the corner, PR-17. Had a good old C- in his hand. I'm like, dude, this is my people. This is who molded me.
I've come to legitimately love it. I have multiple cases of Coors Light in my fridge at home right now. Ask the Bench, if you won the lottery, would you cash out lump sum or pay for life? My instinct said pay for life.
You can't,
it's like whatever.
But you can't remember. You can't leave it to any relatives.
Oh, I didn't know
when you win
that.
the lottery, you cannot leave it.
Also, though, with inflation top of the mind, pay for life seems kind of inherently flawed because your money will mean less and less. If you got a lump sum, you could invest and then maybe make it into more. So I think I'm going lump sum.
I think, yeah. I mean, my mind's wanting me to be smart and say, hey, overtime, but I don't know how long you're gonna make it, and you can't leave it to somebody. So, but if you do the lump sum, you can leave it. Like, so put it in a trust, whatever.
I actually don't have a great answer here because I'm not the biggest Bond guy. But Todd Hoover says, ask the bench, favorite Bond girl, also favorite Bond girl name. Can be different girls. Mine is Octopussy and Good Night as the girl. I don't really know Bond girls too well. I mean, who was in the Pierce Brosnan movies?
Yeah, Halle Berry was in one of them.
I remember
if I'm
that.
not
That's
mistaken.
the only one I remember. That was right after Swordfish. So
I definitely know.
Ana de Armas is in.
She was in the latest one, and she's
well, here we go, Jake. There you go. That's your answer.
probably my answer. But also, I'm missing one. Paula Patton. Paula Patton was in one of the Bonds as well.
Daniel Bastard says, #Ask the Bench. If time slows down the faster you approach light speed, does that mean people driving perceive time faster than people sitting down? Well, they would perceive time slower if they were driving fast. But again, at that speed, I don't think it's it's obviously no noticeable difference. But I guess in theory, yes, you would be perceiving time slightly slower than your stationary brethren. That's relativity, folks. Lightyear actually deals with a lot of relativity. #Ask the Bench. Favorite game to play at the casino?
I mean, I like blackjack a lot, but if I'm going like deep cut, I love roulette. Love it.
I hate roulette. I like
love
craps.
roulette.
Craps.
I enjoy roulette too.
Yeah. I'm just a numbers guy, like jersey numbers, like whoever's with me.
Yeah.
I guess, hey, 53's on the bar.
24.
Board. Sorry, you got to be athletic
It
to be on
just
the
feels
roulette
like
board.
such a losing proposition. But I've never gone on a roulette
Dude,
heater.
$5 wins you 180.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all it is, dude.
24 black. Shout out to Kobe.
What about you, Danny? Favorite game in casino?
Not a big casino guy.
Yeah, I feel you on that, bro. I'm not either, really. Hey, remember, go to RejuveMeMedical.com. You want to feel younger. You want to feel better. I don't care if you're 20, 30, 40, 50, male or female. Go to Rejuve Me Medical. Get your labs drawn. Meet the lifestyle specialist. Let them customize a plan for you. Ask the Bench. If you could go back in time and only tell yourself one thing, what would you tell yourself? Lottery numbers or tell yourself the date you die? I would never want to know when I'm going to die.
No. I'd get the almanac from Biff.
Yeah, lottery. But then again, it's like a butterfly effect thing. Now that you have the almanac, do you change history? So you're going to put all your money on these bets, and then maybe they won't come true anymore because you've already changed history, and then all of a sudden everything's completely different. And so it's time travel paradoxes are a hell of a thing. Go to Page Plus Urgent Care, Patient Plus. UC.com, Page Plus UC.com. 9 locations, 8 in Baton Rouge, more opening up on the way, and they're the best urgent care that you could go to. I mean, in facilities, in terms of customer service, everything. And you're going to, once again, you are probably doubting me, but you're going to go into Patient Plus and you'll be like, oh, damn, I get it now. They're just the best. And it's not just for, us walking around boots on the ground. Your business, your OCMED needs, your occupational medicine needs, all there at the Mid-City location of Patient Plus.
PatientPlusUC.com is the website. Remember, you can book that appointment on the website. Remember, they are always convenient for you, 9 a.m. until 9 p.m., and that's every single day. And if you're in the Baton Rouge area, they're going to have a location that's convenient for you, right? You're going to have one close to you. Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. Get in and get better.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
And this year, 2022, it's time to finally treat yourself. Bring your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service. You want the latest and greatest marine technology? You want to go to the place that has not one, but 2 NMEA certified techs. Family owned and operated by the Sherman family for 30 years. Front-to-back is the answer in Baton Rouge for all of your custom boat needs. So head to fronttobackboatservice.com or find them on Facebook, Front to Back Boat Service.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents